America's game. Now, stop humming this here, everything done changed. That warp tool made you open your brain. Eric Vanek is here, so remember the name. Hey, he got the waiver wire for the week. Tell you who to start and who to give a seat. Dropping the podcast every week. You know the knowledge is elite. After the show, we gon' hold a Lombardi. Celebrating like we throwing a party. This the blueprint and I know they gon' copy. Harmon intros always go the hardest, cause this is America's game.
What is up, everybody? Well, welcome back to America's Game episode number 40. Up to 40 of these now.
Whoa, baby.
Cool. Yeah. I'm your host, Eric Vanek, and you can find me on Twitter at Eric Vanek NFL. And as always, I'm joined by Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Oh, just living it up here tonight.
Yeah.
I like the night America's games. It's rare that we get to do them, but, I like having a little beverage and talking ball with you, E.
Exactly, man. This is always a good time doing this, especially when you have a little drink to go with it. What do we got? What do we got in the glass tonight?
Always vodka, man. Always vodka. Straight vodka.
There we go.
Let's throw some ice on it. My favorite, though, I like to put my vodka in the freezer. I'm a novice, too, when it comes to this. I didn't know this was a thing. But you put the vodka in the freezer, and then, you see how frosty this thing gets if you're watching on the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it's got to be in a South Harmon glass, too.
Of course. I mean, shit, you didn't even do vodka and milk tonight.
No vodka and milk tonight. I haven't graduated my grandma's level yet. Maybe soon.
Yeah, if you were on day 2 of the stream with us, you know about vodka and milk.
If you know, you know.
Exactly. All right, guys. So tonight, obviously after the NFL draft here, I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a rankings update and go over overall rankings, kind of where we're going to slot the rookies into the tiers and ranks, see who moved up, who moved down based off of certain landing spots for the rookies, and kind of go over that. And then at the end, we're going to do a quick 5-round rookie mock draft. It's going to be point per carry, Superflex, and 2 points for tight end catches. So 2-point premium for tight ends. So kind of a little bit of a degenerate type of draft, but something different that we haven't done. We've been doing a lot of the vanilla type rookie mock. So I kind of want to give you guys something different in a point per carry and a tight end premium draft. So we have that coming for you at the end. So stick around for that. We'll post it. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll have it on the screen for you so you can kind of follow along. But yeah, Mike, what was your overall thoughts of the NFL draft, man? Who what was the surprises? What did you not like?
First off, I got to spend 17 plus hours with my friends, man. We got to all be on, the whole team. 17 and a half hours or whatever it was, plus the voice chat on Friday in the Discord. Right. There's a lot of NFL draft stuff. It was a grind, but man, it was fun. It was fun looking back on it. I just needed a 1 day break on Sunday. Just nobody talk to me, okay?
Right.
Let me take a day off. All right, I got butt sweat coming out. Still, I'm good. For those of you who tapped in, there was a night I didn't have my shirt on. There was a night I thrown up in the toilet.
Yeah. So somebody decided to donate $100 so Mike would take one of his 66 millis.
Oh, that was rough. That was rough.
Yeah, I remember just a point in time where you just stared at the screen for like 4 minutes with your eyes wide open and didn't say a word.
I was gone, man. I was gone. But the draft as a whole, there was a lot of exciting stuff. Obviously, the Michael Penix one steals the show, takes the cake.
Absolutely.
And we got that at pick 8, which is incredible. You're in for a good time when it's like, what the?
Right.
You fall out of your chair with the first in a top 10 pick.
Right. I think Bo Nix is still surprising for me too, but it wasn't as surprising because of the whole Penix thing. Penix went, and I was like, holy shit, nobody saw that coming. I'm like, I wouldn't be shocked if Denver goes Bo Nix now. It was already in my head, and of course they went ahead and did it. So it didn't surprise me as much as it probably should have. Like if Penix didn't go and Bo Nix just went regularly at 12, that would have been the biggest surprise of the draft. But I think just the shock of Penix, what team he went to, where he went, kind of just canceled out the Bo Nix shock.
Yeah, I think a lot of us too. I mean, we talked about it ad nauseum. One, how good the class was as a whole,
Yep.
top to bottom, and how good it was going to be for your rookie drafts. And it didn't disappoint in any way, shape, or form. It actually might even be a little bit better than what I thought it is. Like actually doing these rookie drafts now, like I'm pleasantly surprised picking at the back end of the second, early third. I'm like, oh, all right, let's go.
Yeah, there's players here that are useful that you could like. I just did a draft earlier today where I had I got Jalen McMillan, a 3rd-round pick, and I got him at the 307.
Oh man, what a steal!
I got Braylon Allen at the 408, and that guy was one of the most hyped, Devy running backs coming into the year for sure. I mean, he didn't get the draft capital or the spot we wanted, but still, at a 408 in a rookie draft, I thought I got a pretty good deal on Braylon Allen.
I was talking with Barry too. Eric, you picked a good year for me to rope you into all these pre-NFL rookie drafts.
Right.
Because, I mean, sometimes we have some pretty big landmines, right? If you think back to the 22 class with all the quarterbacks, it was a clusterfuck. It was terrible. Yeah. I was trying to think, like, who were the big landmines? And, like, the biggest one I could come up with was Troy Franklin, but that was a dude you saw in those drafts, like, maybe 201, 202. Like, it's kind of a nice range for him. Sometimes he might have been in the first, but, I mean, it wasn't too crazy, and now people are still hyping him up to the point where he might be a mid to late second at worst.
Yeah.
That's your landmine. I mean, other than that, Braylon Allen was like a mid to back end 2nd-round pick, and like you said, you might get him in the 4th, but I think taking him in the 4th, you're still extremely happy to even land him just for the role of possibly being a handcuff or a backup to Brees if something were to happen. So kind of surprising, man. I've done a lot of pre-NFL drafts. None of them have turned out this well post-draft. Usually there's like one or two like, oh no, what did I do?
Well, let me show you something. So I pulled up one of my leagues that we usually do the draft kind of right after the combine or a week or two after the combine.
Right.
So this one was March 10th it started. And it also includes Devy players, so anybody that hasn't been selected as a Devy yet. So this guy's first pick at the 102 was Aiden Chills quarterback from Michigan State, one of the top prospects. So, Okay, I get that. Second pick, 202, he took Frank Gore Jr., the undrafted running back from Buffalo. I was the next pick at 203, and I got Xavier Legette at the 203 in that draft. So
cash money right there.
Yeah. 302, he took Brevin Spanford, another undrafted free agent, tight end to Dallas. 402, he got lucky, Luke McCaffrey. He hit on one of them. And then at the 602, he took Tua's brother, who didn't get drafted. I don't even think he signed with the team yet either. So, yeah, there is a couple landmines out there. If you don't know what the hell you're doing in these pre-NFL drafts, you could really fuck it up.
Well, I'll read you one. I mean, we're talking about this shit auction 5. You're in that league. Here's your first round. Caleb at 1. Not mad about that. Marv at 2. Jaden at 3. Drake May at 4. Neighbors at 5. Adunze 6. Bauer 7. McCarthy 8. You're feeling pretty good about the McCarthy one at 8. Like you feel good about that. Xavier Worthy at 9. Brian Thomas at 10. Me first, I guess if you want to call it landmine. Adonai Mitchell at 11. Which, that probably fell off by like a round or so, depending on who you talk to. Ladd McConkey at 12. Michael Penix at the 2-1 and Bo Nix at the 2-2.
Yeah, those are values right now compared to where they're going usually.
Even the second round isn't that bad, right? I talked about the Troy Franklin thing. He was a 203. Trey Benson, Jonathan Brooks, Keon Coleman at the 206. Corum at the 207. Legette 208. Jalen Wright, 2-9, Ricky Pearsall, 2-10, Roman Wilson, 2-11, and then Jatavian Sanders at the 2-12, which I see a lot of these rookie drafts. He still goes at the 2-12 for some reason. So
yeah. I mean, all these guys are kind of like at least a couple spots off or whatnot from where they're at. So that's a pretty. I mean, I think most of our rookie drafts that were pre-NFL draft were all pretty good. I mean, we all had an idea of about the top 8 or 9. We knew who they were going to be, so that was all pretty much chalk. And then after that, you kind of just had to decipher. There was a couple landmines like you talked about, and I mentioned too, like if you had Frank Gore Jr., Troy Franklin didn't hit like we expected, Devontae Walker's. Brendan Rice, I know some people liked. He didn't go till real late.
Right.
Running backs. Will Shipley kind of got stuck with not a bad spot, but just I don't see a whole lot of opportunity right away. Estime, just Isaiah Davis, guys like that people liked. So it was kind of interesting for sure for the landing spots.
Not too bad.
No, not at all. All right, well, let's get into the quarterback ranks here. So we'll just kind of go down and talk about some of the spots where we're going to put some of these rookies at and any of the guys that maybe moved up a little bit too. So the one thing I did want to talk about here is, if you look at keep trade cut, I don't have it up at the moment, but isn't Jalen Hurts was like 5 or 6 right now?
It's something stupid. For
Something
whatever
stupid
reason,
like that.
they hate him.
Right, and I don't get it. Like,
neither do I.
First off, he just got both of his wide receivers signed to extensions, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So those guys aren't going anywhere. You still have a very good offensive line. You still have a very good offense in general. The other big part, and I don't even think this would really matter, to be honest, because he's so goddamn big and strong, the tush push didn't get banned. Nope. What do we think is going to happen on the 1 yard line again this year, guys? Just because Jason Kelsey retired doesn't mean they're going to be so inept at running the tush push. He's still going to have probably 10 plus rushing touchdowns, and that's a conservative number for Jalen Hurts this year. So he's still going to be easily a top 4 quarterback, I'll say, at conservatively, unless he gets injured or whatnot, or his main guys get injured and they get screwed there. But Jalen Hurts, I still have him in my top 3. I could even argue putting him at number 1 just because Josh Allen lost Diggs, but Josh Allen's pretty damn good too, so I can't really argue taking Josh Allen not number 1. And you guys have done the rankings, like he's been in the top 3 like 4 or 5 years in a row.
Yes. Yeah. This is the guy, too. You talked about the tush push, Eric. I mean, it didn't really come in vogue until about midway through 2022.
Right.
So if you want to go look at a non-tush push, like just hypothetically say that they decided, no, we're going to give it to Saquon instead. Right. Jalen Hurts still had 10 rushing touchdowns, still scored 21.4 fantasy points per game.
Right.
Just shits it out. And that's without A.J. Brown, too, by the way. He didn't have A.J. Brown during that time.
During that time, yep.
He shits out 20-point per game fantasy seasons like it's nothing else.
Yeah, and he's last 2 years, especially, he has been in the MVP conversation both years in a row too. So I don't see that happening anytime soon where he drops out of it unless he gets hurt or something like that. So Jalen Hurts,
he even got hurt and was banged up and slowed down last year.
Right,
still finished as QB2.
Yeah,
still.
So, yeah, this Jalen Hurts falling to 5 or 6. So, if you're doing a startup right now and you're in the top, 4, 5, 6, and Jalen Hurts falls to you at 4, 5, 6, you just press the button and just laugh at your league mates for letting you get that big of a steal of Jalen Hurts.
Thank him kindly for being dumb.
Exactly. So, yeah, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Mahomes is what I have as my tier 1. I don't think that changes.
Nope, no disagreement there for me either.
Yeah, so my tier 2 is where I put Caleb Williams. I also moved Kyler Murray up into my tier 2 after gaining Marvin Harrison Jr. So you're looking at Lamar, Burrow, Stroud, Richardson, Caleb Williams, Kyler Murray, and I still threw Justin Herbert in that tier just because it's Justin Herbert.
Yeah, this one's going to be the tough one because you're going to have 2 movers, and I will put 2 quarterbacks into this tier that I didn't have beforehand. Just because the draft capital and that kind of stuff is. But first off, I do want to talk about Kyler. I'm probably going to be very, very bullish on moving Kyler up to QB4, QB5, somewhere in there.
Okay.
It's
So
gonna
like
be a
above
tough
like
call. Yep.
Burrow and Stroud. I
Yep.
don't know if I can get behind putting him above Lamar.
That's gonna be the tough debate for me.
Right.
Is which one I want to go to, like which one.
Right.
I think Lamar might win out for me in the end. I'll have a lot of discussions this weekend when I'm trying to figure that out, but it's gonna be a good conversation. Either way, they'll be 4 and 5. Yeah, and then I'm gonna throw Jaden Daniels and Anthony Richardson right there after those guys.
Yeah, I got Richardson at 7. I got Jaden Daniels in the next tier, just below. Just because, I mean, it's not like he hasn't proven that he's a good player. I still have him in my top 12 quarterbacks, so he's still a very valuable asset. His rushing ability could definitely bring him up higher, so I get that. I just think Herbert has proven to, be a damn good quarterback, and Jordan Love really came on at the end of last year, so I have him one spot above Jaden, but I couldn't argue putting Jaden in tier 2 with his rushing ability. The one that you did mention, though, Anthony Richardson, I really think there is a shot next year. We're talking about Anthony Richardson up in the Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes tier.
Very well could be.
Like, if he's healthy and like his rushing for the 2 games that he did start, I think he had a touchdown in both games. Like, this dude's going to be, another 800-yard rusher, maybe more, and he's going to have double-digit rushing touchdowns. As long as he's healthy, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. So I think Anthony Richardson's definitely another one that could easily creep up into the top 3 or 4.
Yeah, so the biggest fallers for me then, at least if I'm just looking at guys who moved up and guys I'll adjust, I'll probably move Joe Burrow down. CJ Stroud will also kind of be a faller, but I already had him ranked pretty low. Stroud or Joe Burrow will kind of be the conversation. Which one you prefer? And
so
I don't really care either way. Take whoever you like.
Me and you are kind of on the same page that we value the rushing quarterbacks more than the guys who pass.
Easily. Yep.
I think you're probably a little more bullish on it than I am. Like, I still have Stroud and Burrow above like Richardson for now, but I could easily like flip-flop that, honestly. Kyler, like I said, I moved him up into my top 10 after getting Marvin Harrison Jr. He got Trey Benson. Obviously, he still has Trey McBride, so he's got some weapons now. But yeah, what do you think about like Caleb in your top 10? Do you think that's appropriate right now with what the weapons that he has and what they've done around him?
I think it's hard for me to try to slot all these guys and fit them into top 10, but I do think he needs to be in the discussion. I'm going to take him after Burrow. I'm going to take him after Stroud for sure.
Right.
Unlike you, though, I don't have Justin Herbert ranked that high just because of the way this offense is going to be. I understand they got Ladd, but they are going to run the piss out of this football. Like, it's so tough for him to kind of crack this where you have this talk. Like, I would actually prefer Caleb Williams over Justin Herbert, straight up. No question about it. Because of the way the offenses are going to be and the way the weapon situation is. Like, Ladd is nice, but, I mean, Caleb is just set up so well. And I also think he probably has a higher rushing floor than what Justin Herbert does, in all reality. Like, I remember watching that guy as a freshman house an 80-yarder. Like, I think he can move more to the level of, like, what Kyler does. And that's a pretty good comp for him. So I want to try to wedge him into the top 10. I just don't know if I got enough space.
Right. Okay. That's
tough.
Fair enough. Yeah, and you like Jaden over Caleb. So if you have the 101 in rookie drafts, you're going Jaden over Caleb, right?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I'm big on this one.
Well, if you need a quarterback.
I think a lot of people, though, like a good sound advice is that's probably not going to be the norm. And it's probably not even going to be close to consensus for a lot of people. So, I mean, if you can trade back, obviously do that. Or, a lot of people sometimes have these multiple picks, right? Like, they also have the 103, and it's like, all right, well, just don't mess this up. Take the one that you know, because you know that Jaden Daniels will probably fall to 3. Or there's a better chance he's falling to 3 than if you were to take Jaden 1 and somebody's going to snatch up Caleb at 2.
Yeah, if you have the 101 and the 103 like you're talking about, it's easy. You take Marv first and let your 102 decide what quarterback you're getting. That's how I'm playing it every single time.
There you go. Well, I'm a quarterback whore, so I take both quarterbacks. That's how I want to win. I want both of them. I'll figure the rest out.
Yeah, if I'm in that spot though, I would easily take Marvin, and then at 103, whatever quarterback 102 doesn't take, I'll just move on that way. But yeah, I think you convinced me. Maybe move Herbert down a tier into this. Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels, Tua, Dak, and then the other guy I moved up another tier was Trevor Lawrence. Getting Brian Thomas Jr. For him, I think that's gonna help him out a lot. You're gonna have Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram. You still have Travis Etienne. So Trevor Lawrence does have some weapons. So I felt comfortable moving him back up a tier.
Yeah, that's fair. So I just had to update this too, so I could get a good visual of it. I did end up fitting Caleb in right at 10, right at 10.
Okay.
Right before Jordan Love, which I think is a good conversation for those two, like who you debate. I
Yeah.
think the market will be on Caleb just because he's a lot sexier, but I mean Jordan Love is that dude too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Is
he
that
proved
dude
it
too.
last year. Absolutely. I think if for me personally, I'm just going Caleb with the better weapons. I think obviously the receivers for Chicago are better than Green Bay's. Tight end, I would say, is a wash. I like Musgrave and Komet. I have them back to back in my ranks, so that's a wash. Running backs, DeAndre Swift to Josh Jacobs. I don't think it's that far off, so I would prefer Jacobs, but I think Swift is right there. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Caleb on the weapons, and the offensive line is still pretty solid too. But arguably, the Bears have the best wide receiver trio in the league. I think the Texans might be the only other one you could even have the argument for. Maybe Seattle.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
So
Pretty
definitely,
fair.
definitely the Bears over Seattle. Texans and Bears for trio. I think you could have the conversation.
I think it's tough for me too because I love Roma Dunze so much, so
Oh,
much.
so do I. Once we get to the wide receiver ranks, I mean, we'll talk about where I have him, but same thing there. Um, I mean, Tua and Dak really didn't get too many upgrades, so can't really talk about them. Brock Purdy did get Ricky Pearsall. They didn't trade Debo or Ayuk yet. Quotations on yet. There's been some rumors that the Steelers are making a trade for somebody. It hasn't been reported yet or anything, so have to kind of just keep your ear to the ground on that one. But still have Purdy at 16. Watson, I still like. He can still run the ball really, really well, so that's why I have him there. Goff is next, and then I have the other two rookies, McCarthy and May. I did have McCarthy and May above Goff and Purdy beforehand, but I didn't. After talking with Dynasty Barry, I kind of moved them back just because, I mean, Purdy and Goff and Watson to an extent have proven themselves in the NFL multiple years in a row and have killed it. Whereas McCarthy and May, there's still some question marks on those guys. So if I'm doing a draft right now and I want somebody solid, I guess I can get behind taking Purdy and Goff right now over McCarthy and May.
I get you. I get you. Some movers in that tier, so I just updated mine. For me, right after Caleb, Jordan Love, I talked about that one.
Yep.
I still have Herbert at 12. I think
Okay.
that's fair. He's uber talented. I'm just not as bullish as, top 6, top 7, top 8, whatever he was kind of at going in. Trevor Lawrence right after him. I mean, the Brian Thomas Jr. pick was like, okay, now I can kind of see a path for T-Law to rebound here and
Yeah.
kind of hold on to that hope. And then I'm way more bullish on Drake May and J.J. McCarthy because I have those two guys right after those. Like I have them before Dak and Tua.
Oh,
I want to be ahead of market on these guys because they're fresh. They're fresh coming in, and like the security is just so much better for them. If Tua has a bad year, doesn't get this contract or whatever, doesn't get paid right, oh my gosh,
Right.
we're done. Watson has another bad year, oh my. And we're already starting to see this Dak thing. Like, could this be Dak's last year in Dallas? Like this BS creeping in. I don't believe it, but still, they're getting older. They're getting a little less shine on them. These guys, I loved the landing spots for both of them. Drake May obviously got the draft capital. Minnesota, though, you can't argue. I wasn't a big J.J. McCarthy fan, but if you're going to succeed, why not be with Hawkinson, Jefferson,
Yeah.
Jordan Addison in a Kevin O'Connell offense? So
Absolutely.
I think right there in the mid-teens really feels good for me to take them. If I'm in a startup, that's kind of what I want to do. I kind of want
Right.
to take the more sexy, shiny guys, and then I'll figure out. shoot for upside, I guess, is kind of what I'm doing. Like I'm shooting for the upside play, and then if I do need a little bit more security with like my QB3, if it's a best ball draft, that kind of thing, then there's plenty of really good options like Goff and those guys down below I can just backfill with.
Right. My one thing with this is I kind of have learned over the last couple years, take Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Kenny Pickett, all these guys, we push them up just because they're top rookie picks. They got drafted really high. We have a lot of expectations for them, and they just fail us. I think with McCarthy and May, like I like the talent a lot. We like the talent of Zach Wilson. We like the talent of Fields, Mac Jones too. I just want to be a little cautious, I guess, with my rankings, and maybe that's not great because maybe I won't get a lot of these guys then. But taking a Tua, a Dak, a Purdy, a Goff over those guys, I just have a lot more security where, if I take May or McCarthy as my quarterback too and they flame out, like I'm hurting, and it's going to take a little bit to get another quarterback, especially with next year's class maybe not being as great too. I think that's kind of where I took my approach of my rankings. Like, I'll take some of these doubles or, with Tua and Dak. Tua led the league in passing last year. Like, I don't think Tua is going to be a guy that is not a top 5 passer in yardage, every season from like as long as he has Tyreek and Waddle and Malik Washington and Jonnu and these guys. Like I still see Tua being a guy who leads the league in passing yards or damn close to it every single year as long as he's healthy. Dak had an MVP type season last year. And they're going to have to throw the ball a lot because obviously they have Zeke Elliott as their running back, which we can get into.
Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, so I got that. That's why I have those guys just a little bit higher. They've proven themselves over multiple years now. So I think I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt over like McCarthy and May for now. But I do acknowledge that McCarthy and May next year could easily be over those guys too.
Yeah, I think that's a part of it for me just because I look back at quarterbacks, even Zach Wilson, like faltered, but still had a 5th or 6th round startup ADP the following year after being dog shit. Mac skyrocketed up a couple rounds because he was very, very efficient, had a pretty good rookie year. I know Pro Bowls don't mean anything, but he did get elected to the Pro Bowl in his rookie year. Like I've seen these quarterbacks when they actually hit, like it almost feels like a train that you can't get on. Right? Like, it's too late. It's over. We were down on C.J. Stroud, and now, like, go try to buy C.J. Stroud and see what happens the following year.
Yeah, you're paying Mahomes prices, right?
It's almost impossible. We've seen this even with Justin Fields. It wasn't that great of a rookie year, but he did enough from a fantasy points per game with the rushing, where, I mean, this guy was an early 2nd-round startup pick. I mean, Trey Lance didn't even play but 2 games his rookie year, and that dude was going at the end of 1st, early 2nds in startups. So, like I've seen this when you get a little bit of hype around these rookie quarterbacks, so they do something as long as it's positive and it's not just complete catastrophic. Like their 2nd year, it feels like you're either in now or good luck. Good luck. Like you got to pay the iron price. So, I think when I'm looking at it from a market perspective, I kind of want to be first. I want to be first. I want to buy the IPO. I want to buy the IPO as soon as it's released. And yes, can it flop? Yes, it absolutely can, right? Bryce Young can lose value. Zach Wilson can lose some value. But you usually get a 1-year buffer, at least. You usually get 1 year where they're like, okay, well, I believe in them this year. This is the year that they come back. Right. And if you're not feeling it, go ahead and just cash out. And you didn't lose too much. But if you're wrong and these guys hit right off the bat, good luck. It's over. It's over
Absolutely.
for you.
I get it. Yeah, that's the risk you're taking kind of with this. I don't want to say safe approach that I'm taking here with the rankings, but if you want to gamble on taking McCarthy or May over a Purdy, a Goff, a Trevor Lawrence, like I can't fault you for that. Like they're close enough in my tiers to where I don't think it really matters. So I get it. If I do push a rookie up, kind of like what we did with Caleb and Jaden, it's because of their rushing ability. Like, I'm going to take the rushing ability guys. That's why I had, Fields a little higher than, like, the Mac Joneses and Zach Wilsons and stuff when they came out, just because of the rushing ability. Trey Lance, same thing. I we whiffed on Trey Lance. Justin Fields had a couple good years, like you said. But yeah, the rushing ability, so that's why I got Jaden and Caleb are up there a little bit. McCarthy and May, yeah, they can run too, but it's not like 800-yard rushing season like a Jaden Daniels can give you. So
no, they're more Justin Herbert-esque, I would say.
yeah,
I would say McCarthy probably a little bit more. Like that guy does actually look like on tape he's probably got 4 or 5 wheels at the quarterback. Right. Sneaky athletic.
And May was the he had the most 20-yard rushes the last 2 seasons. I think it was like, God, I want to say it was in the 50s or something. And the only other person that was more was Jaden Daniels.
I can believe that too. May can move.
I think maybe it was in the 30s. I think it was like 34 he had. 34 20-yard rushes was Drake May last year, and that was second only to Jaden Daniels the last 2 years. So
neither Drake of them are Michael Penix.
Right.
Neither of them are Michael Penix, where it's like no rushing.
Yeah. So
even though apparently he runs a 4.5 or a 4.4 or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah. Allegedly. So yeah, that's my top 20. And then coming into the next tier, tier 5, I did have Kirk Cousins up a tier, but after the Penix pick, I did move him back a tier. I still think he's going to have a really good season or 2 here with Atlanta, but after that, who knows? Like, they're going to have to move on and go to Penix at some point. So I still have Cousins there, and we've seen it in some startups and trades and stuff. Like, nobody's valuing Kirk Cousins right now. Like, he's fallen, especially in startups. So, like, it wouldn't shock me if like Kirk Cousins had a top 5 fantasy season this year. Like, okay, maybe top 5 is a little too high because he doesn't rush, but at least a top 10, top 8. Like I've seen him do top 8 when he was super efficient, throwing 35 touchdown passes and 4,800 passing yards. Like I could see that with this type of offense and these weapons that he has. So I'm not like completely out on Kirk Cousins at all. I did have Bryce Young after him. I didn't really move Bryce Young up or down just based off of Jonathan Brooks and Xavier Legette and Jatavian Sanders. Like I'm glad they finally got him some weapons to throw to, so that's good. So I think I just kind of maintained his spot where he was for me. Will Levis, I moved up a couple spots. Obviously, they got him a tackle. They did draft a couple players as well. So, and obviously what they did this offseason with Ridley and Hopkins, you still got Chig, you got the 2 running backs. Traylon Burks is still there. So I think Will Levis is a guy that could easily move up a spot or 2 next year, kind of into the next tier with the amount of weapons they have around him. I got Stafford, I got Mayfield, and I have Bo Nix at the end of the tier. Just because I think he's going to be starting from day one. I want to have him up there.
I'm a little bit more bullish again on the rookies, but I don't disagree. I got Prescott at 16, Watson at 17, Tua at 18, Purdy at 19, Bryce Young at 20, Goff 21. Now I will move Kirk Cousins down, so I'll probably slide in like Baker Mayfield at 22. Kind of feels good to put him up there. And then I think right after that, I'm going to put Penix and Nix. And it doesn't really matter the order. I'm going to jump them over Kirk Cousins. I am going to jump them over Matt Stafford. Obviously, I think we're real close to the end of Matt Stafford.
Yeah, I could see that. I could probably make that move and be okay with it too.
So the Kirk Cousins thing's interesting. I was far more bullish on Kirk Cousins. I had him at 22, right? I was like, I'm really excited about the move and the offense. And then the Penix thing, it's not that I think it's super damning against Kirk Cousins, but it's enough to give me pause. It's enough to make me worry a little bit. Like, do they know something that we don't, that hasn't been reported? How is the Achilles thing coming along? And then like a big one, I heard this on a podcast talking about, what happens if he's not like ready to go for OTAs? Right, and Michael Penix comes in as a top 8 pick and gets to go out there and just sling the ball all over the yard. And it has a chance to impress. I mean, there is a range of outcomes where Michael Penix does really well in the offseason program and then plays well in the preseason, and we never see Kirk Cousins step on the field for Atlanta. Like, never.
$100 million mistake.
It has happened before, right? Not to the level of Kirk Cousins, but you think back to the Matt Flynn, Russell Wilson situation, and I know it's not the same, right? Because Russ is a 3rd-round pick. Matt Flynn had one goddamn good game. goddamn good game.
Right?
But he got damn near 10% of their salary cap for that year. I know it's a different era, and the salaries, you go look at it and you're like, oh, that's cheap. That was a lot of money, when they
Back
signed
then,
him.
right.
Like they put a good percentage of the cap to Matt Flynn. And then Russ just played so well through the offseason program and just impressed. And we never saw Matt Flynn start for the Seahawks. It was like, we're good. We don't need it. And it was the Russ show. I'm not saying it's a likely outcome. I'm just saying that's in the range of outcomes that it could happen. I don't think it's likely, but it's enough to give me pause on where do I really value Kirk? Maybe the Achilles is bad. Maybe he never gets his job this year. I like to say the most likely outcome is we get to see him this year and he does have a good year, because that's also in the range of outcomes too. But I just don't really know. And at this point, there's just too many question marks for me to make like a definitive, he's QB 22. You guys are tripping. Go ahead and buy him for a late first or whatever it is.
Right.
No, I'm good. I'll just kind of shoot my shot elsewhere. If I can get him at a discount that I feel comfortable with, sure, I'll have some Kirk on my team.
Yeah.
You mentioned the trades, Eric. I had to pull it up because some of these are crazy, the reactions to it. I mean,
Okay.
Kirk Cousins going for a random 25-second.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins for DeAndre Hopkins and Zay Jones, who just got cut.
Oh, that's a woof.
Right. It was like the Penix thing just sent some people over the edge. So all these are real trades pulled off of the lab on South Harmon. Pretty big data pool when I got 45 leagues in here. So a lot of different managers across all kinds of leagues, And not only is it pulling from my leagues, but anybody I play in a league with, and then anybody they play in a league with, right? The 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon shit. So, some of these trades when I was going through, I was like, what the hell is going on, man? I thought maybe we might cool where it's like, you'll see some Kirk Cousins for the 203 or 204 in this class, like something like that. I'm like, okay, I get that one. But just random 25 seconds or fucking DeAndre Hopkins, I'm good, buddy.
Yeah, I'll hold on to Cousins. I'm serious. I really think this could put a chip on Cousins' shoulder this year, and he works his ass off to get back. And obviously, with this offense, he can. It's probably similar terminology to what he was doing in Minnesota with O'Connell. There's no reason why Cousins with Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Mooney, and these guys, where he couldn't come out and smash. Just think of the narrative. So I have, Penix right after Bo Nix at 27. If they didn't use that pick on Penix, and let's say they take the guy who went right after him, fucking Roma Dunze, where would we have Kirk Cousins in these rankings now? I'd probably have him fucking closer to Trevor Lawrence at 15 than I would at fucking 21 right now.
Yeah, I could probably make a case, right in that Tua, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Bryce Young range. Yeah. If you're a contender, you're going for it. Yeah, I'm taking Kirk Cousins over Bryce Young. No question about it.
Just funny how one pick can just completely change that. Even if it was an offensive lineman, I'd still have Cousins pretty high. But obviously with Penix going there, he's got, I would say, 2 years at the most, and we'll see what happens after that.
We'll see what happens. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. But I have, like I said, I had Penix in my tier 6 after Nix. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson is in there. And then my next tier is Fields. Daniel Jones, I did have him at the bottom of this tier. I moved him up 2 spots over Carr and Geno Smith just because Daniel Jones got an elite player in this class who I have as a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL right now. So Daniel Jones got a little bit of a bump for me just because they got him Neighbors, got him Theo Johnson at tight end. They didn't upgrade the offensive line at all with any draft pick, which was fucking asinine to me, but still you got Malik Neighbors out of it.
Yeah, I think out of starting quarterbacks, ones we project for jobs going in right now, Daniel Jones will be my second lowest rated guy, right?
Yeah, I think
so technically he comes in. For me, I'm still going to have Justin Fields over him. I'm still a big Justin Fields believer, and I don't know if Russ necessarily keeps a job the whole year. I don't honestly know. You like to think it's likely that he does, but Daniel Jones, I'm still okay, you did get a year. Congratulations. You got a reprieve at least for one more year. Just don't die again.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not even convinced Daniel Jones makes it the whole year, right? Like, at some point, if he's struggling, I think they give Drew Lock a shot, and we'll see what Drew Lock does. But the only other starting quarterback that I just don't believe in as much is going to be Geno Smith. Like Geno, Russ, and Daniel Jones, but pick whatever the hell you want. It doesn't really matter to me.
I mean, Derek Carr's in the same thing for me. Derek Carr has been a perennial quarterback too. Geno, probably the same thing. Even though Geno's got some weapons, he does have the Washington offensive coordinator there now from Washington college team. So I am excited about that with Geno because they had a really good, fun offense in college. So I am intrigued by that with Geno. If I see some good training camp reports on Geno and the Hawks, then I might move him up a spot. I think the lowest quarterback that I have that would be starting right now are the Raiders guys. Like, I don't know which one it's going to be yet. So that's
that's fair. I forgot about Aiden O'Connell, which I'm actually pretty high on him. I think what they did with that situation.
I think it's a legit battle between Minshew and O'Connell.
I think it is, and I'm going to put my money down on O'Connell, personally. Okay. I drank the Eric Kool-Aid. Like, I think I'm going with Aiden O'Connell on this one. And they did just get him Brock Bowers. So...
Yeah, they did. They got
and Michael Gallup
Bowers.
For whatever the fuck that's worth.
Yeah, they got Gallup. They got him. They got Dylan Lobb, the running back.
Lobb
they
is a good
drafted, I think, the second and third round or second and fourth round. They got offensive linemen that should at least be able to start, or if not, be the next man up. I think the second rounder could definitely start. So yeah, the Raiders did really good there. Yeah, I mean, I still got like Sam Darnold and Sam Howell, so Sam Howell could push Geno. Mac Jones, I still have there. Darnold and McCarthy, we'll see who starts there. Drake May and Brissett, same thing. We'll see who starts there. Kind of not on the rankings topic, though. Just kind of want to get your thoughts on this one. So Ryan Tannehill is still a free agent. I would assume somebody's going to pick him up. Where's a spot you would like to see Ryan Tannehill go to either be, a really good backup to push the starter, or maybe have a competition with somebody in training camp?
Man, that's a tough one because we just filled a lot of spots, right? And even the ones that are still questionable, they brought guys in, right? They brought Drew Lock in with New York. They brought Sam Howell in.
Yeah, that's kind of...
Is there even a spot for him?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm debating in my head. Like, I would love to see him with the Giants to push Daniel Jones and Locke, but what was the point of signing a Locke then?
Could he go someplace like Buffalo? I know they brought back Mitch, but I'll take Ryan Tannehill as my backup versus Mitch
Trubisky. An upgrade there. Honestly, he should go back to the Titans, but he ain't going there.
He ain't going back to the Titans, it doesn't feel like.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson's got Flacco. The Lions have Hendon Hooker. If they don't maybe trust Hendon Hooker, you can maybe go there.
What about the Chargers? Go the Chargers back up Herbs.
Oh, Easton Stick, yeah. He would definitely be a
Big
3 million times upgrade, yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that one. The Rams have Garoppolo. The Panthers have Dalton. Miami, go back to Miami maybe. I mean, if you want to replace Mike White. Arizona could be a spot. I think Tannehill's better than Desmond Ritter.
I think that's the one. Right. Who the fuck is it? Desmond Ritter and Clayton Tune?
Yeah.
Please. I like the Arizona one. That's my final answer. That's what I'm going to go with. Go to Arizona.
Okay.
Hey, go to the desert, man. You see the quarterbacks revive themselves down there in that desert air. Carson Palmer, right? Come on.
Yeah, or at least get their handicap down and golf a little
bit. There you go. enjoy the twilight of your career.
Right. All right, so that's most of the quarterback rankings. Let's move over to the running back ranks here. So nothing changed at the top. It's the top 4 for me and you, I'm sure. Next one down, tier 2, Taylor, A-Chain, and Barkley for me. I did move Kyron Williams out of that tier after the Blake Corum signing. So if you listen to our live draft streams, we talked about this Kyron, Blake Corum stuff at nauseum. But just kind of your quick synopsis of it. Where do you value Kyron now?
I find myself in a weird spot, too, because I wasn't, if you listen to any of the pre-drafts, I wasn't a big Blake Corum guy. But I do acknowledge that people loved him out there. They had a lot of RB1 grades on him. He had some really good seasons at Michigan. I just had some concerns. The film wasn't as spectacular as I want. I didn't think he was terrible, but if I had to list out my potential top 5 running backs for this class, he wasn't in there.
Yeah, he's a solid double. He's not some Saquon Barkley freak athlete,
Exactly. And so I thought he was okay. And then the Rams go out and they draft him. And now all the things about what I know with the Rams being a Cam Akers truther for the longest time start creeping back in.
Yep.
All the things that I've had to deal with, Eric, like you and I, our relationship formed on me trying to defend James Robinson to the death.
Right. Yep.
Which was horrible in hindsight, right? It was terrible.
Right.
And then we doubled down on it with the Elijah Mitchell bullshit like just a year later, right?
Yeah.
We have done this time and time again with these undrafted guys who have really good seasons. I don't think anybody will discount the fact that James Robinson was RB3,
Yeah.
If you don't have really secure draft capital and you haven't proven it, you got to have multiple years before people really buy in. Austin Eckler, for example, it takes a while for the community to come around on you. And it felt like just 1 year of Kyren, everybody was like, yep, RB6. That's the dude, RB6. And then the Rams go out, an organization historically that just does whatever the fuck they want at running back, whenever the fuck they decide
Which
that they want to do
they
it.
have done the last week or two, so.
They made Sony Michel relevant at one point. Old dusty ass gross.
C.J. Anderson came back and was a playoff stud.
Yes. Even last year when Kyren was out, Royce Freeman for the first time in his career had games where you're like, do I start Royce Freeman this week? Yeah, I guess. Go for it. So that's kind of where this organization is out. And then they draft a guy that was by consensus for a lot of people RB1, who's very talented. They used good draft capital on him. It wasn't like he was a 5th-round pick and he fell just into their laps. They drafted him, and this is a team that's got playoff aspirations. Hey, we're running this back. We want to win with Stafford one more time, or we want to try to put the best team we can around him. And people just wanted to ignore the fact that this doesn't hurt Kyren. I don't know how you make that logic. Now, I'm not saying he's dead at all. I'm just saying you can't keep him at RB6. You can't keep him in the top 10. You need to be realistic about it. For me, he probably winds up somewhere in the late teens, 20. I think he can be good and he can be a value, but if they're going to buckle down and they're going to do the James Robinson shit that I did years ago, there's no chance I got any Kyren left. None. I will trade you all the Kyren in the world, and I'll go buy all the Blake Corum in the world for dirt cheap.
Yeah, I think the days of getting a first for Kyren Williams are over.
I hope so.
I don't think it's and I really like Kyren Williams. I bought fully back in. I bought back in when the whole Adam Schefter thing came out. When they played Buffalo the opening week, whatever it was, 3 years ago now, after the Super Bowl win. And, Schefter came out and said, hey, Kyren is going to be a big part of this team's plans. And I think he was supposed to even start the game for them, but he got injured on the opening kickoff. So that's when Akers went back in there. But I kind of bought back in then and kind of always remembered it. And I bought a bunch of Kyren cheap. When he got injured and was just missing time, that off season especially, I bought into him a lot. So I had a lot of him going into the year and really benefited from him this year. And I really didn't sell that many of him this off season, which it is what it is. I really like the player. I still really like him. I would say 85 to 90% of the backfields in the NFL now are committees. And so now this just gives Kyren another backfield mate that I think is just as good as him, if not a little less, but it's going to give him a breather and give him, he's going to be able to get a series off and not break down and get injured, get these sprained ankles and stuff like he did last year and miss a month. And if he does end up missing a month, you have a very solid guy that can take his spot. So I like it from the Rams perspective for fantasy. I think it cuts into Kyren Williams a little bit. Kind of like Ken Walker got cut into by Charbonnet last year. Maybe it wasn't a big cut in like we were expecting from Charbonnet, but still cut into Walker a little bit. But I still have Walker. I moved him to the RB12. I got Kyren at RB14. I still like Blake Corum was my RB3, so I would like him too. So it's not like it's a death nail. I'm just have gotten used to these teams are going to use 1, 2, 3 running backs now. It just is. It is what it is. A part of the NFL now.
I think the last point, though, that I'll make on the Kyron thing is a lot of what he gave you last year as far as fantasy production was tied to ridiculous amounts of volume and workload.
Exactly.
And I don't think, no matter how you slice it, I'm not saying Blake Corum's coming in from day one and taking over by any stretch, so don't get that twisted. I still like Kyron just as a value, but I don't know how it's going to shake out. Like, how much of this volume does he eat into? And I got to think, if you're spending a third-round pick on a running back like Corum, like, you're doing it for a reason. Like you said, he may be a little bit more fresher, so maybe the efficiency goes up. But the volume's coming down. Like, the volume, but any stretch of the imagination, it's coming down at some point.
Right.
I don't know how much. Like, I've seen McVay do this where it's damn near 50-50, which would be a death sentence for Kyron Williams. Then you could say he's dead. But if it's only he loses 10%, something like that, okay, it's a hit. It's a hit. Let's acknowledge it. Let's rank him appropriately.
40, that's kind of what I think.
Last year it was more like 80-10.
Yeah.
80-20.
So this year, if it's 60-40 or 65-35, like, Kyron's still going to be able to produce and be good. He might not have, 14, 15 rushing touchdowns and all this passing down work and all that, but he's still a really good player.
I just found 4 trades on the lab within the last couple of days. People buying Kyron Williams for the 108, 109, or 110.
I think that's fair, and I think if you wanted to sell Kyron for that, I don't have a problem with that either.
Yeah, I re-roll that any day of the week.
Yeah, especially when it's a guy you probably got in round 3 or 4 in your rookie draft, or in some cases I had people dropping him and I got him off waivers for fucking free.
What's a bottom dollar in this class you'd take? Thinking about kind of how it's shaking out with rookie drafts.
I would be willing to go like 201 to 204, and with that expectation, like, sure, I could go receiver and re-roll that way, but if I wanted to re-roll it, I'd re-roll Jonathan Brooks and the Kyron Williams.
Okay, that's the other thing I was going to ask you. Would you do Brooks or would you do Kyron, or is it a toss-up?
Yeah, I mean, I would be, if I could do that, I'd be fine with that, because I literally have Kyron at 14 and Jonathan Brooks at 15.
All right, what about Trey Benson? Or is that even close?
I think it's close. Yeah, I have Benson at 21 and Kyron's at 14, so it's a 7-spot difference. If you threw in like a 4th-round pick or a 3rd-round pick or something with Benson, I could be fine with that. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So that kind of puts it in the mid-second, early second range, like kind of in there, like you're comfortable with it.
I think that's fair. And I'm also fine with, if I have like a 206, 207, and I have Kyron, I'm one of the ones who does this, but I'll take Blake Corum too, and I'll just play them fucking both at the same time. I don't give a shit. I'll just soak up all the Rams RB touches.
The whole thing, which are usually pretty good, Rams RB touches.
Yeah, I mean, I did that with, how many years I did that with Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and look at all the, stats I got off of that, and I was just fine playing both of those guys. Like, in PPR, they were at least, usually over 10 points each a game, so I was happy with that.
The keep trade cut still has him at 9, and a lot of what we're talking about too, like, I will apply this to various degrees for Josh Jacobs as well. Same kind of thing. Like, you can't deny the guy took a hit. You can't deny he took a hit.
Actually, I think I kept him kind of the same to where I have him.
Okay.
I mean, I like Marshawn Lloyd, but it's like, I'm used to Green Bay using the 2 running backs and kind of having the same stats, and like Aaron Jones was still really, really good even with A.J. Dillon cutting into him. And I think Jacobs is more talented than Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon for sure. I think Jacobs is probably the most talented running back they've had there since, fucking Amon Green maybe?
So a lot of what scares me is he was piss poor last year. And a lot of good metrics. Like, in good metrics, he was bad. And I do think, at least just from a 10,000-foot view here, that Marshawn Lloyd is the better pass catcher of the two. And more explosive by far.
Yeah. I mean, Jacobs had that year where he was going for the contract. He caught a bunch of balls, so he can do it. But like you said, maybe they brought Lloyd in to be more of that pass-catching guy and let Jacobs focus on rushing.
Which would scare the shit out of me if I was in that position, because now he's kind of getting pigeonholed into the A.J. Dillon mold. The A.J. Dillon role.
Yeah, but I think Jacobs is way more talented than A.J.
Oh, I'm not denying that one. I think he's way more talented than A.J. Dillon too, but it's still like, what is that role? Like the
Yeah.
role I really wanted in the Green Bay backfield has been for a while the Aaron Jones role. I want that guy.
Right.
'Cause that one just gives you a safer floor. You got the chance for big plays, and AJ Dillon was like, "Oh, great, he got me 4 points this week." Woo!
Right.
Super excited about that one.
I think they spent a lot of money on Jacobs. I don't think they're gonna fuck around and waste him. So I think the money kind of gives me the confidence that he's gonna be a top 10 running back this year.
It's just, I've seen this money thing play out last year with Miles Sanders.
Yeah, that's true.
And when I look at Jacob's deal, and people have brought it up all over the place, right, ad nauseum, it's basically a 1-year deal. They can get out next year for very, very cheap, where it doesn't hurt them at all. So
Right.
that's the thing that just worries the shit out of me, where I'm like, if I'm going to knock Kyron, I got to knock Josh Jacobs too. So I had him high. Maybe it's because I had him higher. I had him at 14 before the draft started.
Yeah, see, I had him
And
at
now
like
he ain't gonna be there.
9. Yeah, I had him at 9, and I think I moved him up to 8 because he passed up Kyron. So with going to Green Bay, I already had him pretty high. So I could maybe see, like he's in a tier with what, I have 8 guys in this tier, so like I can see him moving down this tier easily too. Like ETN's there. They brought in Keelan Robinson, and that's not going to hurt him. Still have Dearness Johnson, Tank Bigsby, Pacheco. The Chiefs brought in a shit ton of undrafted guys again, like they usually do. Rashad White, they brought in Bucky Brooks. Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet kind of survived there with the Hawks. And then the other one that I moved up a shit ton was Najee Harris. I have him at 13. So a lot of these guys, like, it's committee backs. They're not just the guy.
Not just the guy.
Yeah.
Man, I'm definitely moving Jacobs down. I'm just trying to figure out where like he would slot in for me hypothetically. He's gonna be below Aaron Jones for me, the guy who just left Green Bay.
Holy shit. Yeah, and I have Aaron Jones way down there just because of age and all that.
I get you. Najee, obviously, I'm with you. Like, we can move Najee up. I like Najee.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's run for 1,000 yards every year he's been in the league, and they just upgraded that offensive line massively. They got a way better quarterback now. I think this could be Najee Harris's breakout year.
I'm probably gonna slot him in somewhere around like where Javonte Williams, Alvin Kamara, and David Montgomery sit for me.
Okay.
For Jacobs.
Yeah, me and you definitely have some way different running back rankings for sure.
Right. Well, I've also adopted this fuck these RBs, so I
Yeah,
usually
you're
I don't
playing it
play
like,
in this field.
Yeah, I think you're playing it more for redraft.
Like I use your ranks, but I start at like 50, and that's where like my list of running backs I drafted startups go. It's
Right.
like, yeah, let me get all these shitters. Who's Eric really liked out here that I haven't paid attention to? Yeah, this list of like 8 to 22, you're gonna find if I do a startup, they ain't on my fucking team. Like they ain't. Unless they fell to the 12th round or something by happenstance.
Right.
Most of these guys ain't making Mike's rosters anymore.
Right. All right, before we do leave this tier though, the two I wanted to talk about real quick, Najee Harris, who we kind of mentioned. Do you kind of agree with me? Like the upgrades they make, like this could really be Najee. I think Najee was my biggest mover. I think I had him in the early 20s, and I moved him up to 13. Like, I moved him up a shit ton.
I will move Jalen Warren up by proxy, because
Yeah.
if I like Najee's situation, by default I should like Jalen Warren's situation. But I'm not one of these people who thinks this is the year Jalen Warren suddenly takes over for Najee Harris, right? We have yet to fucking see this. Even though people reported Najee wasn't even announced as starter. You remember that shit?
Yeah,
Didn't
that's
matter.
true.
Didn't matter. It didn't matter. I like Warren, but I've always had an issue with the people trying to ascend him like as the next Alvin Kamara, Austin Eckler type. Like, you got to beat out the guy who's getting most of the snaps right now first, right?
Right.
I think he's a pain in the ass to Najee Harris, because if Jalen Warren wasn't there, you could talk about Najee Harris in like a Kyron Williams role, like, oh baby, 80% of the touches, fuck yeah, let's go,
Right.
RB6, like sign me up for that. But it's not the case. But I do like the situation, so I will move him up, and I'll just I'm gonna keep Jalen Warren a healthy distance behind him, but he also goes up as well, right? Like they're tied, just 15
Yeah.
spots apart.
Yeah, I have Najee 13, Jalen at 27. So,
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yep.
And then the other one in this tier I wanted to talk about, maybe you think I have him too high. I put Jonathan Brooks at 15. But he was my RB1, and I'm super bullish on him.
Listen, I'm not a big running back guy anymore, by all accounts. But again, with quarterbacks and like most rookies, if you're gonna get him in a couple years, RB15 prices is gonna look fucking great if he hits. Like you're gonna be like, you remember when I got him in the 6th round? Fuck, that was awesome. Because now he's going in the 2nd. Son of a bitch. Right? Yep. This happens all the time. So if you're going to be bullish on somebody, be bullish on a rookie running back in a good landing spot with a lot of talent.
Yeah, exactly. Because I have him above James Cook, DeAndre Swift, Javonte, David Montgomery, Derrick Henry, Trey Benson, obviously.
I don't hate it. I can't knock you. If you were to tell me you had Jalen Wright up here this high, I'd tell you you're crazy. Like,
yeah, no. I have Jalen, two tiers down. So, my 16 to 21 is my tier 4, which I just mentioned. And then my tier 5 goes from 22 to 33. So that's a big clump of 11 guys.
Yeah. How far down did James Conner move for you with the Trey Benson thing?
I did move him down a couple spots. I have him at 26, but I have Trey Benson at 21. So I do have Benson rated above Connor because I'm expecting Benson.
I think that's fair. If I had to make a trade today and somebody was like, "I'll take your James Conner, you can have my Trey Benson," I'm like, "Fuck, here you go, buddy. I serve it up on a platter for you. Good luck."
Right. Yeah. Or if I'm getting the Connor side, I want a plus on top of Connor.
Yeah, give me something else, buddy. Give me a couple thirds and some fab.
Rico Dowdle,
Yeah, give me Rico Dowdle. Big winner. Winner, Rico Dowdle.
Yeah. So I got Benson there. Then that big tier I was talking about, I got Mixon in there, Stevenson, Pollard, Brian Robinson, Connor, Jalen Warren, Alvin Kamara, Zamir White, another big winner from the draft.
There you go. Yep.
Tajay Spears, Blake Corum, Jalen Wright, Aaron Jones. So I have Aaron Jones a lot further down than you do.
Yeah, I'm a big.
I think
Aaron
for
Jones
redraft
fan.
I have him a lot higher, but for dynasty I have him lower.
And maybe it's just because he beat the shit out of the Cowboys last year. Like that just makes me feel good. Anytime Cowboys get their teeth kicked in by somebody, I like them.
Yeah, shit, he did good against San Francisco too in the
Sure
next
did.
game. So, but he is 29 coming into this year, so that's why I have him a little lower. But yeah, so Zamir White, he survived. He only got Dylan Labe, who's basically a PPR type running back that's behind him. So I think Zamir White locked and loaded as the guy this year for the Raiders. So I'm excited to see that for sure.
Like I have a little bit of pause because like could they bring somebody else in? I just have a hard time. I couldn't tell you who the fuck like could be a threat right now. Like realistically. Okay.
I mean the free agents that are out there
are junk.
Kareem Hunt,
No.
Jerick McKinnon, Dalvin Cook, Melvin Gordon, Rashad Penny, Josh Kelly.
Yeah, this is real gross.
Latavius Murray, Matt Breida, yeah. So I mean, that's literally the best free agents that are out there.
So it's got to be a trade in today's day and age. Do you think that's even feasible? Like,
even if they brought Kareem Hunt in, I'm taking Zamir White 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, I think he's relatively safe. Now, this was a guy that I was worried about, right? But you see, with the Kyron thing, with the James Conner thing, with the Josh Jacobs thing, like there's valid reason to worry heading into an NFL draft when you're kind of hitching your wagon to certain running backs because you can see them take hits in the NFL draft. Absolutely. Like I had a lot of Chuba Hubbard and loved him.
Yeah.
But after the NFL draft, I go, fuck.
Yeah, he was one of my big movers down. I think I had him in the high 30s, like 32, 33, like around where Jalen Wright and Corum are at for me now, and I moved him down to 45, 2 tiers down.
So that was a big worry with Zamir White, but now we're through that. We're through that. Like, okay, now I'm excited about Zamir White.
Yeah.
The problem is, like, did I wait too long, Eric? Like, do you got to make your bed before the draft? Or do you think you could still get some Zamir White on the reasonable cost right now?
Yeah, I mean, if I can get him for a third, I would do it, but I don't think you're getting him for a third. You're probably going to have to pay, like, if I got to pay a $210 for Zamir White, and I'm like, deciding between, let me just look at some guys from one of my recent drafts that went like around the 210 pick. So you're looking at Roman Wilson, Xavier Legette, Jalen Polk, Jalen Wright went here, Bucky Irving, Marshawn Lloyd went here. Like, if I'm deciding between that, I'll take the shot at Zamir White over one of those guys. If I have to give up like a 210 for him.
So the most recent trade I got for Zamir White, 25 random second.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that too.
Okay. I think that's probably the nice thing about guys like Zamir White, and even to the further point about Kyron. Like, you were still getting Kyron even when he was producing into week 3, 4 last year for like second round picks. I don't believe this shit. Go ahead.
I think another thing too, Scott has talked about this in the past. Like, you don't need to buy running backs right now in April and early May.
No.
You can wait till August and probably still send that 25 second for Zamir White before the season starts, and somebody might accept it. So you could probably wait a little bit too.
The only one I didn't really like is there's one on here. Somebody buying Zamir White for the 24,205.
Yeah, that's probably a little rich because you could probably get Brooks or Trey Benson there, and I'd rather have Brooks or Trey Benson.
I'd take those guys. Yeah. I think though, for the random 25 second, or maybe a couple thirds in this class, like, if you really wanted to buy a running back now, you can. But I also don't think that's going to change too much between now and July, August, somewhere in there.
Jalen Wright, are you okay with having him in this tier with Zamir White and Corum, Spears?
I'm not. I'm a little bit lower on Jalen Wright. And I loved him coming in. The landing spot's just so hard for me. Like, it's a projection. I get it. Raheem Mostert's old, and I'm sure a lot of people aren't really confident in Devon Achane's ability to stay healthy. But, I mean, list all the running backs who are really confident in their ability to stay healthy and play an entire season. Anymore, it's everybody.
Well, that should give more of a bump up to Jalen Wright, though, right? Because if Achane or Mostert get hurt.
It should. But at one point, I was buying Jeff Wilson last year, and he just never did anything. They're like, we don't even give a fuck when Achane's not here. We're still not playing Wilson.
Yeah, right. Or Wilson was hurt too, so who knows?
I love the talent. I think it's a great landing spot and scheme fit, besides the fact that they brought Mostert back and they have Achane. Like, I would have really got behind this if they were, like, okay,
it was just Achane.
Yeah, we got Achane, and then we let Mostert walk. Thank you for setting the touchdown record, but we're not paying you anything more, man.
Right.
Like, maybe we'll bring you back right before the season starts on a sweetheart deal, just because there's some depth or whatever, but.
Okay.
Right now, it's just like, it's really hard to project how many points and when Jalen Wright's going to be usable.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard enough to project two of those guys, the Achane and the Mostert thing, but you want to put a third one in there? Fuck, this is really tough.
I could see, like, Jalen Wright being almost like last year's Achane, like the first, 3 or 4 weeks, Achane didn't do shit. And then he got into play, and he just was, like,
exploded.
a league winner. Yeah, so, like, I could see that happening for Jalen Wright. Like, maybe the first month he only gets, 10 carries total. And then, Mostert gets banged up or dinged up, or he's not producing. And they put Jalen Wright in there, and Jalen Wright is, that explosion they need. So, I think the scheme fit is the absolute perfect scheme fit for Jalen Wright and the way they want to run that offense. So, I'm going to take the bet on that offense for Jalen Wright and keep him up higher in this tier. And I'd be comfortable taking him in the second round of my rookie drafts.
So in my rookie rankings, I actually prefer taking Ray Davis versus Jalen Wright.
Interesting, okay.
Because I think Ray Davis has a better shot to more consistent work, especially for 24. If I'm just looking at 1 year, which is pretty much how I value every running back until you tell me I need to look longer, right? Your breakout like Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey just keeps churning along, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan, those kind of guys. Everybody else, it's like, what can you do for me in 24? If I'm just looking at 24, I actually just feel comfortable with Ray Davis over Jalen Wright. Like, I can project his workload a little bit better than I can Wright's.
Yeah, we'll finish with Ray Davis. That's actually a great one to finish on for the running back. So, I have him at 43, and I think I could probably move him up a little bit more. I think that's a guy over the summer, once we get some of the beat reporters talking about Ray Davis and how he's being used. That's a guy I think I'm going to get higher and higher on, because I think it kind of made sense to me after the draft when I was looking at it. Like, what role is Ray Davis going to play? He's going to play the exact role that Latavius Murray played for them last year, and he's 10 years
100%.
younger.
Even though he's an old ass guy himself as a prospect, he's still 10 years younger than Latavius Murray.
Right, but he can do exactly what Latavius did. Like, he could be the hammer at the goal line, and he's a very good pass catcher too. Like Latavius Murray, I don't remember how many catches he had last year with Buffalo, but I know he had quite a few. So Ray Davis can be that too. So like, where James Cook doesn't have to be the guy that's at the goal line or taking every single passing snap, like, even though that's what James Cook's good at, Ray Davis can fit in there too. So at least they're they're not showing what plays are going to be running, basically, if whichever running back's in there. If it's A.J. Dillon in there, you're going to run the fucking ball. If it's Ray Davis, it could be a pass or a run. You're not disguising disguising what your play is going to be by whichever running back's out there. So I really did like Ray Davis too, and the spot that he got. Definitely somebody I'm going to be watching in training camps this year for sure.
17 catches for Latavius Murray last year. So
Yeah,
not an absurd number, but solid.
Yeah, it was
solid
enough.
enough.
Like, I remember him getting like 3 or 4 catches in a couple games last year, so it wasn't like he was like a complete zero there.
Yeah, 27 the year before. So, the Lat Murray role, but a juiced up, better, younger, faster version, 10 years younger of Lat Murray. Like, I get behind that one.
And I don't think, this is why I moved James Cook down in my rankings, is because I don't think they want to run him 20, 25 times a game. He's not built for that. You're going to kill him. He survived it last year. That's great, but you don't want to do that every year. Like, he should be a guy who's getting the DeAndre Swift treatment of like 15 touches a game. 15 to 17 touches between rushing and receiving, and Ray Davis can come in and do the rest. So, like, I think that's kind of going to be like a 55-45 backfield, how I see it personally.
I also wonder, too, because they lost 2 weapons. Yes, they did bring in Keon Coleman, and you get a fully healthy Dalton Kincaid now. I still think, like, maybe they transitioned to using James Cook more in that Austin Eckler type role where we're going to give him carries, right? Because we're going to keep you honest, and he's good with them. But like you said, we're going to keep him down, but we're going to use him more in the receiving game, which means that when we get to these more in between the 20s and goal line stuff, Ray Davis even has a more prominent role than what Latavius Murray had last year.
Right, I agree. All right, wide receivers. We'll kind of try to punch through these wide receivers here quickly. Obviously, your top 3 are still the top 3. Marvin Harrison Jr., I put him at 5, so I have him right behind Amon-Ra. I'm sure you probably don't have too much of a problem with putting Marvin there.
Pre-draft, I had Marv at 5. Post-draft, I have Marv at 5.
Right, yeah. Like, you could argue with me that you want him over Amon-Ra because Marvin is a more talented player than Amon-Ra. I'm fairly confident in saying that.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to throw him at 4, I could definitely see that too. And then I also have Malik Neighbors in this tier too. I have him at 9. So I have Marvin at 5, Garrett Wilson 6, A.J. Brown 7, Puka at 8, Malik Neighbors at 9, Tyreek Hill at 10.
I kind of like the wide receivers at the top because I was sitting here and I'm like, I got to update these quarterbacks now that I know landing spots. I was very bullish on all these wide receivers coming in pre-NFL. We went over this on this show, my ranks before.
I have all 3 of them in my top 15. So
yeah, Eric, I don't got to move any of these fucking guys. None. No. I had Marv at 5, I had Odunze at 6, and I have Neighbors at 7. It's going to stay that way post-NFL draft.
Okay. Yeah,
I like them. I'm very, very high on these wide receivers.
Yeah, so we're in the same boat with Neighbors then at 9. You have them at 7, you said, or 8?
7 for Neighbors, 6 for Odunze.
Okay. So I have Odunze at 15, but God, I mean, I think I could. He's definitely going to move up for me next year if he plays the way I think he's going to. But I think 15 for me is just a little bit of a conservative ranking, just because
That's
there
fair.
is DJ Moore, there is
Yeah.
Keenan Allen still there, and the guys I have above him are the alpha number ones on their team: Chris Olave, Drake London, Brandon Ayuk, Michael Pittman Jr. So like, it's not like I have slouches in front of him.
Yeah, I can't knock you for any of those guys too. So
Yeah.
before people attack me for why isn't AJ Brown up there? Why isn't this guy up there? Listen, I think they're all really good. I got them all real close. But again, kind of like quarterbacks, like the running backs we talked about, like I want to be ahead of the curve on these guys. Because if Adunze comes out and hypothetically is the number one wide receiver as a rookie and unseats DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, which is in the range of outcomes, people, it is. I mean, they're out there throwing passes together before they're even officially teammates. They're riding
Yeah.
airplanes together.
Fuck, just wait till they start having breakfast together.
Yeah, start eating breakfast. I hope Robe starts eating breakfast with them.
Yeah,
Like,
a little vodka and milk before work.
15 is a nice, conservative, smart landing spot for you in your ranks. But I also understand if Adunze comes out in the first couple of weeks and puts up, a couple 100-yard games and a couple touchdowns and has clearly unseated Keenan Allen, he's left in the dust, and we're like, oh my
I
God.
probably should have him up at like 6, 7 where you have him. Yeah.
Good luck prying him out of anybody's hands.
So with having Rome at 15, that caused me to move DJ Moore down a tier to tier 4. And I have him at 22 now, where I had him at I think he was at 15 where I had him before. So
Hey,
I did
we're-
move DJ Moore a couple spots.
We're
down.
close. I had him at 21, predicting the Adunze to Chicago thing.
Okay. Yeah. So we're pretty much similar there. Brian Thomas Jr. I put him at 24.
Ooh, yeah.
So I have him above Tank Dell. I have him above Devontae Adams, Diggs. I have him above JSN, Amari Cooper, Rasheed Rice, Jaden Reed. So I think, being a first round receiver should be the number one option on that team, for outside guys at least. I thought this was a pretty good spot to throw Brian Thomas Jr.
It's not a bad spot at all. I got him at 29, and I'm having a tough time deciding if I could move him up, right? The guys in front of him, Debo, is just a production thing. Now, if Debo were to get traded to, like, some place where I go, ugh, like, are they even going to use him like Debo? Obviously he would fall. George Pickens, I don't mind still. Like, I'm weirdly in on George Pickens above him. And JSN, like, I'm a JSN truther. I think I can make a case for Rasheed Rice just because of the legal thing. Like, would I rather have Brian Thomas or Rasheed Rice at this point? I think it's Brian Thomas. You feel a little safer. So
Yeah.
I could probably move him up maybe 1 or 2 spots if I really dove into it.
Okay. And then at the bottom of this massive tier 4 that I have, is where I have Pickens, Mike Evans, and that's 32 and 33. 34 is where I slotted in Xavier Worthy. 35 McLaurin. 36 is where I have Debo, so I have Debo a lot lower than you. And then Lad McConkey rounds out the tier 4 at 37.
Okay. On the Xavier Worthy thing, for me, at least in rookie ranks, Xavier Worthy or Brian Thomas, I don't care who you pick. It's a toss-up for me.
Right.
Sometimes I go one, sometimes I go the other. If I happen to have one of their quarterbacks, then that makes the decision for me. Okay, I'm taking the stack. I really do like Xavier Worthy. The Henry Ruggs comps are lazy as fuck. Right?
Yeah,
he's more
heard,
Devontae Smith than he ever going to be Henry Ruggs.
I heard on Move the Sticks, Bucky Brooks mentioned it today. It's, you look at Andy Reid's history and people are, saying Tyreek Hill, and it's more Deshaun Jackson. How Andy Reid used Deshaun Jackson earlier in his Eagles career there. So I think that is probably the better comparison for Worthy.
Yeah, that's not bad either. Man, Lad McConkey is going to be right up there too. Not necessarily right next to him. Like, I will put Brian Thomas, Xavier Worthy back to back in my final wide receiver ranks, which I had him before. Might bump them both up a few spots. Lad's going to be pretty close. The tough part about Lad is, like, you get Lad into that territory of really good vets that I like too. Where I'm like, I can get 1 or 2 more years out of Devontae Adams or something like that. That's the tough part, is trying to decipher who you want out of those guys.
I mean, the guys I have them around are McLaurin, Debo, Deontay, Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
Like, I see Lad just fitting right in between those guys for sure.
And I'll do the same thing with Keon Coleman. He's going to be right
I
there
have
pretty
Coleman
close.
right behind Deontay. So I could even flip McConkey and Keon Coleman. I think Keon Coleman, if he hits the ground running with Josh Allen, Keon Coleman could easily go from my wide receiver 39 to my wide receiver, 20 next year easily.
Yeah, yeah. And he's young as shit, man. Not
Yeah,
even
he's
21
only
yet.
he's not even 21 yet. So, and this is the guy Josh Allen wanted. If you've listened to the stuff Brandon Beans talked about, this is the guy that
That's the
Josh
dude.
Allen wanted. He said, throwing those back shoulder plays like Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers made so fucking famous. That was one of the reasons Josh Allen liked Keon. He's like, Keon can do that. Me and him can get on that same timing and hit those plays. So Keon Coleman is definitely a guy I definitely going to value my rookie drafts in the high second round for sure. If not,
Yeah,
like end of the first.
and I think maybe like 5, 6 spots total, and wide receivers behind them, it was going to be Xavier Legette for me. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't envision him actually getting first round draft capital. This is a guy I liked. It's a tough eval for a lot of people, but kind of a flag plant for me. Shout out DB. We're lockstep in this one. Like,
Yeah.
at some point, I'm willing to like say fuck it. At the 112, the 201, 202, if it has to be. It's more like 203, 204 in your rookie drafts. I'm just gonna plant my flag on Xavier Legette, and if I miss, well, fuck me then. It wasn't that bad.
What about Deontay or Leggett? Who do you like?
I'll take Legette long term,
Okay.
sexier. But Deontay is gonna be ranked pretty high for me. Like I think at least for 2024. Like wide receivers, I'm more than willing to look in 3-year windows at wide receivers.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
they're not running back. So long
For
term
sure.
for Dynasty, I will take Legette over Deontay. But I think Deontay is also going to have a absolutely fantastic 2024 season. So
Okay.
if you're any type of a contender and you're like, oh yeah, fucking take Deontay, I wouldn't
And
fight you.
then, back to back picks, Pearsall or Leggett.
Easily Legette at this point. So
Okay.
Pearsall's a tough one. If we find out before the season they trade Ayuk or they trade Debo, fucking move Ricky Pearsall up, right?
Yeah.
You can move Ricky Pearsall up right behind Ladd and Keon if you want, and I
Yeah.
would put him over Legette at that point. I really
Okay.
would, even though
Okay.
Legette's my guy. But I put him over that. That offense is good, and now you kind of have a clear idea of like where the targets could come from. But right now it's just so fucking tough, man. He's the fifth
Yeah.
option if you think about it. And people go fifth. Just count them in your head, all right? Debo,
Yeah.
Ayuk, Kittle, CMC, right?
Yep. Number 5.
The rookie's number 5.
Seriously. Yep. I
The
agree.
rookie's number 5, assuming that they don't actually just put Jawan Jennings out on the field all the time because he's such a good blocker and he's such a team guy and they fucking love him. So
Right.
just throw that out there. That's where it's not a super high volume passing offense. This isn't Big Ben's final years where they're throwing the ball 700 fucking times where it's like
Right.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if he's a fifth option. Like he's getting targets. This is San Francisco where they're going to run the football. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one where it stands, but honestly, if you wanted to play the little risk thing, you could rank Ricky Pearsall higher, and I wouldn't have a problem with it. But you are really banking on Ayuk or Debo's out
Yeah.
the door.
And then also in this same tier with Pearsall, Leggett, and these guys, I have Adonai Mitchell too, even though he went in round 2 and these guys went in round 1. Pre-draft, I had Adonai as a top 5 receiver. I think he was my 5th receiver. Still went in the second round, which is still good. I mean, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, both of those guys went in the second round. Debo Samuel, second round. So it's not like going in the second round for a receiver is a death nail. He's going to a really good offense where he's going to be the clear number 2 behind Michael Pittman Jr. So I like Adonai Mitchell, still same spot as like Pearsall and Leggett. So I have him pretty close in their rankings here too.
I have him a tier behind Ricky Pearsall. Honestly, I was a little bit more meh on the landing spot. I mean, it's a more run-heavy offense with a running quarterback who we love, obviously,
Right.
and Michael Pittman is fantastic. Like
Yes.
a number 1 receiver through and through, target hog. And I had enough concerns about Adonai Mitchell coming into the process with work ethic and like how he's going to kind of work out and route running, and then the analyticals weren't there for him. So I had him a bit lower. I know Adam absolutely loves him, loves him, but I don't know if it's a hot take or not. Like, I do prefer Jalen Polk over Adonai Mitchell as it
Yeah, I
currently
have
stands.
Polk at the bottom of this tier, so I don't have a problem with that. No, they're
Like,
like
as
five
far
spots
as
apart.
rookie wide receivers, I put Adonai at 11, which, in the mid to late second round, like, I would still
Right.
draft Adonai.
Yeah.
I do regret kind of taking him at 111, 112 in these pre-NFL drafts, but,
Yeah,
but it
that
is
might
what it
be.
is. Like, I
Yeah.
think he's super talented. And he like, kind of like Pearsall, he could also be a big riser if you come out and you see like a George Pickens-esque rookie year where it's like, oh yeah, the concerns weren't really warranted. Look at this fucking guy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see. Anyone else I want to mention here? The next tier down, it is like where my 51 to lower players start. So 56, I have Roman Wilson. 57, Jermaine Burton. 58, Jalen McMillan. 59, Romeo Dobbs. 60, Jacoby Myers. Malachi Corley, I put at 62. So that's kind of where I got the rest of these guys. And then like McCaffrey and Franklin are below that. So that's kind of where I have the rest of the rookies kind of shaken out.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I think that's probably the right range too, because if you look at some of these guys, my pre-NFL total wide receiver ranks, I had Troy Franklin in the 40s. That's fucking dead. It's gone.
Yeah.
Write that one off. Cortland Sutton's kind of an interesting one. We'll kind of see how that shakes out for him. He got a quarterback now, but is he actually going to play for the Broncos, or is it somewhere else? Gabe Davis is going to be a faller. Josh Palmer going to be a faller, right? He was a little bit insulated because it was like they don't have anybody. He might be the number one. Now he's the number two.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have him super high to begin with, anyways. I mean, I have him at 75. So
And I'm a little bit more bullish now on like Demario Douglas. You can move him up, move Pop Douglas up a few spots too. So some of these guys are going to fall, but like the Roman Wilsons, Jermaine Burtons, I think somewhere in the 50s, early 60s is kind of the right spot for him.
yeah. I moved to like Gabe Davis down a couple spots with Brian Thomas going there. I actually moved Darnell Mooney up a couple spots because Atlanta didn't do shit at receiver.
Nothing.
So I mean, Mooney should have a really good shot to produce this year. Um,
Could you move? Here's an interesting one. Could you move Jamison Williams up because they did nothing either? Like they were rumored.
Yeah, I have. I mean, I have him at 54, and I think
Okay.
where I have him at is fair because he's around Cortland Sutton, Dotson, Jerry Judy. Like, I think that's a fair spot to put Jameson.
And being that T Higgins, I should have asked you about this earlier. Didn't get dealt. Not on a new situation. Back with the Bengals, and they didn't really add anybody other than Burton. They let Tyler Boyd walk. A little more bullish on T Higgins than we were before the draft, or same? Didn't move.
I think I have him about the same. I mean, I have him at 20, so it's not like I'm
Okay.
way down on him or anything like that. He's still a really talented player, and even if he does get dealt, he's gonna go somewhere to be the 1A or a 1B somewhere. So it's not like he's ever gonna lose that value
Okay. Okay.
for me.
Yep.
All right, so that's it for the wide receivers, for the most part that we want to talk about. Let's kick it over to the tight end real quick and just go through that real quick. So my main one obviously is Brock Bowers. I put Bowers at 2.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably where I would have put him anywhere if he would have got drafted by the Jets or Atlanta or whoever the fuck. Like even still the Raiders, I'm still gonna put him up there. I think he's that talented.
I'm a little more down on him. I'm still going to probably keep him. My tight end ranks didn't change a whole lot. 6, 7, somewhere in there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't like if you go look at these guys based off of stats. Like, I bet you the stats are probably gonna be pretty damn equal. Like, would it shock me if Trey McBride and Dalton Kincaid have better stats than Brock Bowers year 1, maybe year 2? No, wouldn't shock me. But I just think over the long term, I think Bowers is gonna be I don't want to say he's going to do what Laporta did his rookie year, but would it shock me? Hell no, because he's that talented. So I think if the Raiders can use him properly, like Bowers could definitely have a Laporta type rookie year, which is one of the greatest rookie years we've ever seen from a tight end.
I believe in O'Connell. I just don't think this is going to be some super prolific passing offense.
Yeah.
And Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers are still really fucking good, especially Devontae Adams. So it's like, where's this giant target share coming from?
Right.
I mean, at least with Laporta last year, it was Amon-Ra, and then it was nobody else, and it was Sam fucking Laporta, right? That's
Right.
To do that for Brock Bowers is like, okay, I could do the Devontae Adams thing with a shittier quarterback in Aiden O'Connell versus Goff, obviously, but like Jacoby Myers is, whether you like it or not, is 10 times better than Josh Reynolds or Jamison Williams was for the fucking Rams or the Lions last year. So a little bit tougher for me to like do that in my head where I could like really project to have this kind of really good rookie year. I think it'll be pretty solid, but like Kincaid or Bowers, you mentioned that one. That's a tough one. Like, who do you decide on?
Right.
I'd say the market's probably really higher on Bowers, but Mark Andrews still really good. Travis Kelce's still there. Kyle Pitts with the Kirk Cousins / Michael Penix. Like, I really like him. He was the generational tight end prospect before Brock Bowers, and I still think probably even better of a tight end prospect than Brock Bowers, in all honesty, just because of the size and the speed thing. And then Trey McBride was just like a fucking 20-point walking burger with Kyler Murray at the end of the season last year.
Yeah.
Marv is really good, but you know, there's no Hollywood Brown. There's just fucking Marvin Harrison. So
Right.
he's the locked in number 2, number 1 option in Arizona in 24.
How far did you move Mike, or will you move Michael Mayer down after this?
Just fucking bury him. Jonnu
I
Smith
had
territory.
I had him at 15.
Lower.
I had him at 15 or 16, and he's down to 24 now.
I had him at 17. I could probably put him. Darren Waller is probably retiring, so I can take him off the list.
Yeah.
Michael Mayer is Zach Ertz, and I'm not gonna lie, I will take Zach Ertz at this point.
just for 1 year.
Just for 1 year, Jonnu Smith or Michael Mayer. I'll take Jonnu Smith. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I actually am really like Jonnu this year, so I have Jonnu 3 spots behind Mayer, but I have like Jawan Johnson, Cade Otton, Jonnu Smith right there with Mayer. Like, I could easily see those 3 guys outproducing him this year.
Jatavian Sanders or Michael Mayer?
Jatavian I have above.
Obviously, Sanat over him.
Yeah, I have Sanat at 18 and Jatavian at 19. So
how about this one? Colby Parkinson or Michael Mayer?
I have Parkinson at 28, Mayer at 24. So it's not. I mean, it's not that far off. They're in the same tier for me.
He's gonna be in like the late 20s by the time I'm all said and done. Like, I'm good.
So I kind of look at it this way. So I have Andrews at 3, but I have Isaiah Likely at 20, and we've seen what Likely can do when Andrews misses. So it's not like that far off. And I have Bowers at 2 and Mayer's at 24. So like, I kind of want to put like Likely and Michael Mayer kind of close together, which I kind of do on this, just because I think that's a fair comparison for me.
And kind of like running backs, I'm just looking at tight ends realistically in 1 years, like really, because I'm fading them. So I'm just looking for guys who's giving me fucking production in 24. That's why I say like Colby Parkinson. I'll probably take Colby Parkinson over Michael Mayer, to be completely honest, because I could probably project a realistic role for Parkinson versus Mayer as far as actually starting them on a weekly basis. Tyler Conklin, big winner. Jets didn't draft Brock Bowers. Tyler Conklin's a fucking Aaron Rodgers tight end. Move him on up, buddy. Move him on up. Welcome to the show.
He has produced like 2 or 3 years in a row since he's been with the Jets, man. He has done really good. He's one of the most underrated tight ends in the league for sure.
Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave. I'll take both of those guys over Mayer.
Yep, I have both of them above Mayer.
I move Hunter Henry above him. Hunter Henry's got a quarterback now.
I have Henry below Parkinson, so there's 5 spots apart. So
Jawan Johnson's another guy I'll take over Mayer.
Yeah, Jawan, Cade Otton. I have a couple spots below. Above Mayer, I have Chigakonkwo, Noah Fant, Kraft, Likely, Jatavian.
I could make a case to move Chig above him too, easily.
Well, that's why I do have Chig 1 spot.
Yeah, I'm just looking at like currently where I had. I'm trying to figure out like where I'd slot him in.
Gotcha.
He might be like tight end 31.
I mean, I know the Seahawks drafted a tight end, but that was more of a blocking tight end. I think Noah Fant definitely shooting up a lot of people's rankings.
Yeah, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah, gotta get
No
those
fan
Iowa tight
breakout.
ends. Yeah, Iowa tight ends for life. I actually didn't think about this with the Kelsey extension for 2 more years. I mean, I have him at 9 right now. I probably got to move him up a couple spots, right? Maybe above Njoku and Hawkinson.
Yeah, I had Kelsey at 4. 4
Yeah.
before the extension, and I'll leave him at 4
I
after the
had him at
extension.
9 just because of I think okay, it's like a 1 year thing, but now he's not. I know he's playing for 2 years. I think I got to move Kelsey up above Hawkinson with the injury and Joku. I mean, we haven't seen it. Can I move him above Kincaid? I think that's Kincaid, McBride. I think that's probably where I stop. So I move Kelsey up a couple spots.
Yeah, I think it's just a contender versus, long-term play. 1-year bet. Give me Travis Kelsey.
Right. We did mention Sanat and Sanders. I have Sanat at 18 and Sanders at 19. So I have those guys above Likely, Kraft, Fanta, Conquo, Mayer, Johnson, all those guys.
I'll probably slot Sonata in somewhere in that early 20s range, and JT not too much farther behind. A couple spots maybe. Might be 1 or 2 guys in between them.
Yeah, I had Sanders at 2 and Sanat at 3 pre-draft, and Sanat got 2 rounds above him in draft capital. So, and I still really like Sanat. I still like Sanders. So I'm gonna go with those guys there. I've seen some wild stuff on Eric All.
No.
Okay.
No.
At least we're not that crazy.
He would probably end up in the mid to late 30s.
Yeah, I have him at 38. I still have Gasecki a spot or 2 above him.
Him, Theo Johnson, Cade Stover, Jared Wiley, Tanner McLaughlin, like Jaheim Bell, like all those
Honestly,
guys.
I think Tanner McLaughlin's better than Eric All, personally.
You could make a case, especially if I just said 1-year windows, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be, they're not going to cut, I mean, they could cut Tanner Hudson, but they still have Gasecki. They have Eric All and McLaughlin, who they drafted, and Tanner Hudson. They re-signed Drew Sample, but from what Scott was telling me, Drew Sample's going to move to fullback. So they're going to have these 4 tight ends and Sample, who could play a little tight end if need be.
Right.
So I have that.
I like Eric All. I got him as the 5th tight end in this class, but I think it's really just, listen, you got Brock Bowers. The Sanat thing, I was like, okay, like, you're fine. Like, this feels like a 20s overall kind of guy for me. And then JT Sanders, a few spots behind him, but it's still 4th-round draft capital. Like, it's not that great. He wasn't that great of an athlete. We want to talk about Raz. It wasn't special at all. Theo Johnson is a hell of a Raz athlete. You got maybe Darren Waller leaving and retiring, so that's interesting. But Kuba Ossel's like, he's a really good blocking tight end. And you're like, fuck, that's like the death sentence. You know what I mean? Like, who cares then? And then it's like Eric All. All right, but I'm not getting over my skis. I know he went to Iowa. I know he's an Iowa tight end. I got 3 of these fucking guys behind me, and I just had Sam Laporta hit. But in all honesty, like, I didn't think shit of Eric All in the first couple games when Luke Lachey was there for a goddamn reason. Because Luke Lachey is that dude, and Eric All was not that dude. Yes. So I'm not going to get over my skis on ranking Eric All. Like, he's fine, and he's got an ACL. Perfect. It's a tough bet. It's a tough bet. Rank him in your 30s somewhere. Pick him up off fucking waivers. Draft him in the 5th round of your rookie drafts. Like, that's fine. If you're spending a 3rd-round pick on this guy, or you're ranking him in the top 15, 20, like, you might want to reevaluate how you evaluate tight ends. Just, it's not good. It's not, Don't do it.
All right. Yep. I think that's all fair. So I agree with you on that. All right, so let's kick off this rookie draft that we talked about. We're gonna do. So we're gonna do a quick rookie draft on Sleeper. So if you're watching on the YouTube, you can follow along with us. We'll just alternate picks and go in linear order. So on this one, we're going to do Superflex. We're going to do point per carry. We'll do 0.25 per carry, and we'll also do tight end premium of 2 points. So 2 points per tight end catch. Only start 1, so it won't be like too crazy. But yeah, so just a super flex with point per carry and a high tight end premium to make the tight ends matter. So since you are the guest, sir, I will let you go with the 101 pick.
No, just because I'm taking Jade Daniels.
Well, that too.
That's That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, in a super flex with a point per carry though too.
Yeah.
I can. I don't. I think I make this pick too. Honestly, with Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
So with that, I think at the second pick, I will go ahead. I'll take Caleb, just for the super flex, and he can run too. So I get it.
Three's easy.
Mike takes
Marvin
Marvin Harrison Jr. So at 4, I am up now. This is kind of where I usually take Malik Neighbors. I'm trying to think of the the quarterbacks plus the tight end as well. I'm still gonna go Neighbors. I have him in my top 10 receivers. I think he's a stud. So Neighbors.
Drake May for me then at 5.
Yeah,
Still
Drake
love the
May
guy.
at 5. I have JJ McCarthy above him, so I'm gonna go JJ here, in the super flex spot.
All right, because this is not one of these leagues I've been drafting lately, where I have all these first-round picks, and I'm being a complete asshole by QB hoarding. Okay,
Right.
This is a true mock draft that I'm staying true to. Individual. This is the 107's the only first round I have in this hypothetical scenario.
Right.
Roma Dudze for me.
Romo didn't say. Okay. And then at 108 with these settings, easy Brock Bowers for me.
All right, now we're getting into it. Oh,
So 109, you still got 2 quarterbacks there. The top 3 receivers are gone, so you're looking at your Worthies, McConkeys, Brian Thomas, those guys.
I'm gonna go Xavier Worthy here.
Xavier Worthy. Okay. At the 110, I will go Bo Nix, the quarterback. So I'll go with the super flex.
I was hoping you were gonna go somewhere else. Yeah, I'll go Brian Thomas. Oop,
Brian Thomas.
not that one though.
Yeah, not in that spot.
Not 211. That'd be a hell of a value.
Yeah, it would be. So I think this is the spot with point per carry you can really discuss having Jonathan Brooks or not here.
Yeah, I think that'd be
at
very
112, especially over McConkey's and Keon Coleman's and that. I think because I have Jonathan Brooks rated so highly, I'm going to go ahead at the 112. I'll select Jonathan Brooks in point per carry.
fair. All right. Which sets me up perfectly
Yep.
to make a tough decision between fucking Lad McCartney and Keon Coleman.
Keon Coleman, right.
Damn it. I could go Michael Penix.
Or
too.
Michael Penix, yep.
I'm gonna go Keon. Fizzle.
Keon.
Be proud.
You're right. So I am up here. Man, I think like I like Ladd, but I don't think Ladd is ever gonna be some, top 30
Super alpha.
Yeah. 24 receiver weekly. So it's like I'm okay if I miss on that. I think at this super flex, I'll go ahead and take Michael Penix at the 202.
Oh man. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and take Ladd. And I'm gonna take Ladd in the hopes that you saw the athletic measurables. Could he beat Chris Olave? I think he could.
He could be. Yeah.
I think he could be
it's
Chris
possible.
Olave type.
And he's got a hell of a quarterback to do it with, so I agree with that.
Much better than Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Or Taysom
So
Hill.
with Pearsall, Leggett, Adonai Mitchell all here, I think in point per carry, I'm going to go with the running back just because I just don't know which one of those receivers is going to do it. So I feel more comfortable with Trey Benson, who I think he's going to have a role this year, but next year he might have the starting job in Arizona. So I'll go with Trey Benson. Mike goes ahead and takes
Take my
Leggett. Yeah, that's cool. I think here I'm gonna stick with my rankings here. I think I'm gonna go Adonai Mitchell over Ricky Pearsall.
Man. I really want to go running back here, but I just can't pass up Ricky. I mean, it's a first-round wide receiver to the 49ers for fuck's
Right.
sake. Like, at some point, I got to do it.
Yeah. So at pick 8 here, man, I am going between either Blake Corum or Ben Sinnott, to be honest. I think I'm going to go Corum because I do like him quite a bit. So I'm going to go Corum here in point per carry.
Damn, Eric. Making it tough out here.
Yeah.
Okay. point per carry will swing me. All right, this is where I'll stop drafting wide receivers like they're going out of style. I'll take my guy at running back, Marshawn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think at pick 10 here, I think I would feel comfortable taking Benson Knott. So I'm going to go the tight end from Washington.
All right. Now I'm going to go back to the wide receiver where I feel comfortable. Jalen Polk.
Jalen Polk, okay. I am going to go here at the 212. I think I am going to select... Ooh, man. This is a tough one, too. I'm going to go ahead and select... I think I'm going to go Ray Davis.
God damn it, Eric.
I think he's going to get a lot of carries in year one to where it's going to matter for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Jalen Wright... I have Jalen Wright and him close. So I could have went Jalen Wright, too. But I'm going to go with Ray Davis because I know he's going to get the carries early on.
All right. Because of the point per carry. And you swayed me a little bit earlier in the show. Jalen Wright.
Okay. All right. The 302, I'm going to go ahead. I think this is where I would take Jatavian Sanders.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you just took all the tight ends. I don't have to fucking worry about it anymore.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about too many other ones.
I'm good. Roman Wilson and Jermaine Burton are like toss-ups for me, and I have a tough time deciding between both of them. Now, Burton, I mean, they both got good situations, right? The Steelers, nice. They usually hit.
They always hit on their receivers.
But Burton goes with Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase in a high up-tempo passing offense, and he went before him. I'm 50-50 on it, but I'm going to take Roman. I'm going to take Roman.
I'll help you here, and I'll take Jermaine Burton.
Is that helping me? No.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And we still got some round 3 receivers in there.
Yeah.
We got, he was round 3. Still some running backs out there, too.
All right. At this point, though, I mean, in the middle of the third, like, I give people a lot of shit for still doing the good body talk on Troy Franklin. Like, you really do. But, I mean, I'm drafting him at the 305 here. Like, I'm
Troy Franklin.
Fine. Okay. If I fuck this up and he's nothing, okay.
All right, so 305, we took Troy Franklin. I'm up now at the 306. I think I like this guy pre-draft. I still think he's in a really good spot, getting drafted to where he went, and that's Jalen McMillan, the wide receiver to Tampa Bay, in round 3.
Nice. Okay, Eric, you're playing the tough game. I'll go ahead and I'll take Javon Baker. Fuck, we might as well just do this 4th round wide receiver thing. Fuck it up and take them all.
All right. So here, my next pick at the 308. Pull up the running back list for me. You can kind of look and see who's there.
Eric's playing a strategic game, too, because he knows I ain't drafting Bucky Irving or Roger Gustav.
Yeah. I'm trying to realistically think about how I would do it. Because, I mean, I don't see Bucky Irving or Will Shipley getting a fuck ton of carries. The one guy I can see getting some carries, and obviously this regime drafted him, and they like him, and they have dog shit at running back, so I'm going to go Kamani Vidal, who went to the Chargers.
God damn it. All right. Since you're going to do this shit, I will take Isaiah Guerrero.
I mean, he landed in a very good spot, too. I can't deny that. So he would have been probably one of my choices there, too. Let's see. Let's take a look at the wide receiver list, because there is one wide receiver there that I really am warming up to. Oh, we still have one 3rd round receiver still there.
Still do.
McCaffrey. I like this guy and how he fits in this offense. I'm gonna go Malik Washington to Miami.
Nice. I thought he'd be there in the 4th for me, but no.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him creeping up into the 3rd rounds in a couple of my drafts so far. I don't think he's gonna make it very far.
I mean, in point per carry, there's a lot of guys that can make a case for, but I'm just banking on an injury, I guess. Knock on wood, though, because I don't think anybody wants to see that again.
Yeah. 312, I will take... I think in point per carry, I got to go Audric Estime, the
Hammer.
bruising running back from Notre Dame. Yep.
I'll continue this trend. Will
Shipley.
Shipley.
I'll take the last third round receiver. I'll go Luke McCaffrey here in round 402.
It lasted a long, long time.
Yeah, and there's still actually another third round receiver.
There is. I refuse.
If you want him, yeah. I mean, he's got to go here soon, to be honest, if we're gonna.
Yeah, we're running out of good players.
Yeah.
Fourth round though, I'll take Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler. Okay. I'll go ahead at 404. I'll take Malachi Corley.
Okay.
I don't love him. I had him super down on my list, but I'll take him here.
Eric did take my Kamani Vidal, so we're gonna scroll down this list. Actually, it's just faster.
There's one. Yeah, I was gonna say
It's just faster if I type in Tyrone Tracy.
And to be honest, I probably would have took Tracy a little bit before this if I remembered. I just didn't see him.
Remembered he was down there. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go ahead. I'll take Bucky Irving on this one. I know you won't take him, but he went to a solid spot there. He's one injury away from being the starter.
Now we kind of hit the part of the draft where it's like, make your bed.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot my shot on Rasheen Ali, another running back.
That was another one I was going to look at, Ali. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Dylan Lobb, the running back who went to the Raiders.
This is tough drafting against you.
Yeah.
I don't get my guys that I want.
There's no fish here.
Yeah, I like the fish. Bring back the fish, Eric. Jesus. Now everybody always drafts shitters at the top, and it just leaves you just.
Yeah.
At this point, I guess I'm higher on Anai Smith than a lot of people because I think he can step in and be the slot from day one for Philly. Now, how much work that is, at least he's going to be on the fucking field.
True.
At least he's going to be on the field.
Yeah, and if it was a return yardage league, he could definitely be.
He could have something, right?
All right, so 410 here. Pull up the tight end list real quick for me. Stover, Wiley. Yeah, none of those guys are really standing out at the moment. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take my guy, quarterback, Jordan Travis. So I did get a TV guide little update. So on April 30th of 2034 is when the Travis 7 or the Travis 8 documentary is coming out. Just like the Brady 6, we're going to have the Travis 8 documentary.
They're so full of shit.
Where they document all the guys that went ahead of Jordan Travis when Jordan Travis is holding up his second Super Bowl trophy.
I love it. I'll take Theo Johnson here. I'm not like I said when we talked about him. Koopa says he's a blocking guy, but he is super athletic, and I don't know what the tight end situation there is with Darren Waller's pending retirement. I think Bellinger's fine too, but I could also see it like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Theo's
I think I'm gonna sit with you here. I'll go 412. I'll go Eric All. It's with Joe Burrow. Not much more else I can say.
Not much more else you could say. Yeah. Because everything else is just so shit. It's just like so shitty. I'll take Cade Stover, I guess.
Cade Stover, okay. So I'm going to take. Man, this one's tough too. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take Jacob Cowing. I know that's a guy that Adam likes a lot. And if they do trade one of their wide receivers, I mean, Cowing could maybe, get a spot in there too. So I like, I'll take Jacob Cowing.
I'll take future tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, Johnny Wilson.
Now, that's interesting. I did see a thing with Howie Roseman today, or read a quote where they don't plan on moving him to tight end. He's a wide receiver. But they have also moved Arcega Whiteside to tight end, so
yeah, I don't plan on drinking vodka anymore either.
Yeah, okay. Oh, shit. All right. So for here, I think I'm going to take a running back that I did like in the draft, but he didn't get the greatest spot, and that's Isaiah Davis. Take a shot at him in a point per carry league.
Very fair. Jesus, you felt better about this one before the sign. You know what? Fuck that. I didn't even take it. I'll take Jaheim Bell. They could use playmakers, obviously.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I know it's 7th round, so like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But
So
there's a chance.
506. I mean, I don't love this landing spot, but the talent's there. I'll go with Devontae Walker. I mean, we've waited on him quite a bit and passed him up. I think he was what 4th or 5th round to the Ravens. So
Man, we really hit the shit pot of just.
yeah, I mean it's
Woof.
I mean, but it's still pretty deep, man. I mean, there's still some guys we can fill this draft out. So
Yeah, we definitely can. I'm just trying to figure it out. At this point, I'll just take some backups. Devin Leary, backup quarterback in Baltimore.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. One of the guys I liked in this draft. 5-6 here. I think I'm gonna go. I'll go ahead. I'll take Jared Wiley, who went to the Chiefs in round 3, tight end, 2-point per touch catch. I'll take him.
Yeah, and I'll snipe your guy Tanner McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. Yeah. All right. So I got 2 picks left here. We're at the 5-10. I usually don't take undrafted guys, but I think in this spot I will. I'll take Cody Schrader. He went to the 49ers. They usually, it's a running back fucking heaven, so.
I guess the last couple here, I mean, there's nobody that really stands out. It's a bunch of turds.
Yeah.
I heard some people talking about Jordan Whittington as a breakout. No.
Yeah.
I'll take the Browns guy, Jamari Thrash. Good enough draft capital.
Yeah. I think 5-12 here. I think I'm going to take the future backup for the Green Bay Packers at quarterback. I will go ahead and take Michael Pratt.
All right.
But we didn't take Joe Milton either, so that's another one who could have went here. So
future tight end.
Yeah, another future tight end.
Future tight end. All right, so in this rookie draft, like where, if we got to put tiers on it, or just how this kind of stood out to you, where's your first tier? If you had to put a tier break, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think Jaden, Caleb, Marvin is my tier 1.
All right, would you put Neighbors, May, McCarthy, Adunze kind of in that next tier? And then because of the league settings that we're in, could Brock Bowers be considered in there too?
Yeah, so Neighbors, May, McCarthy, Odunze, Bowers for this format. Yes, I agree.
All right, then the next tier: Worthy, Nix, Thomas Brooks, Coleman, Penix, Ladd, Benson. Or is that too big?
I'd probably, I think I can get behind that because the guys behind them I think are in their own tier. So
feels like there's a drop off, right?
Yeah, after Benson, yeah.
Leggett, Mitchell, Pearsall, Corum, Lloyd.
I think this tier could go to Polk. Yeah, I mean, we may have taken Ray Davis and Jalen Wright because of the settings, but I think those other guys are probably. I'd probably stop at. Fuck, I mean, you can either go extend this tier on.
Right.
Maybe go from Leggett to Jermaine Burton. Almost a full round.
Yeah, I could get behind that one. I think it's a lot of dudes like that.
Yeah.
Man, after that though, like at what point in this draft where you're like, fuck, like, all right, I don't feel as good, because I know picking even in the early thirds, it was like, okay, Jalen Wright, and you got JT Sanders, and I got Roman Wilson, and I was like, oh, I still really like Jermaine Burton. At what point, like specifically, it feels like it's in the 3rd round somewhere, but at what point were you like, okay, I'm good? Like I feel like I dropped off in talent for sure.
Honestly, though, like I really like Vidal. Garendo, you can argue. Malik Washington could be a stud. Not even want to say stud, but he could be a contributor. Braylon Allen was, a top prospect. Audric Estime and a point per carry could be interesting. After that, though, it's Shipley. I like McCaffrey. I like Rattler. Corley. I'd probably say around there. But then there's a couple guys after it. Like Tracy, who I forgot about, Irving, Rasheen Ali, Lob, like in a point per carry league, I like those guys. I would say probably after Lob for me is probably where it stopped.
Like where it really got like, okay, now
where it got to like, okay, these guys probably cloggers.
My initial impressions, like once we got to Jermaine Burton, like the Troy Franklin, McMillan, Baker, like that kind of felt like a little bit of a drop off. And then there's a handful of guys in there, McMillan, Baker, Franklin, Vidal, Garendo, Tracy. I would obviously elevate into that. Shipley, Braylon Allen for me, Luke McCaffrey too. Like I'll throw him in there. And then it felt like, at least when you drafted Malik Washington, Corley, me with Rattler, Bucky Irving, like those guys, that's when it kind of felt like I'm just really just chasing a dude. Like, I kind of liked you. I kind of liked you.
If I had to redo it, I probably would have took Tracy over Estime, so Tracy would have been at the end of the round 3
That
for me.
that feels fair. That feels fair. So it really feels like maybe when you get to that late third, you're like, okay, we're good. We're good. Now I'm just choosing my guys, like my dudes. But everything before that actually feels pretty good to push the button on. Like, I got a lot of options. Like, I got to make a decision on which guy. Like, really, once you got to that late part, you're like, let me find a name.
Yeah.
All right, who stands out? This dude.
And there's going to be league mates who make mistakes, too. Like, someone's going to draft Spencer Rattler in round 3, and you're just going to say thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you, boss.
Yeah, someone's going to fall in love with this Aeneas Smith or Devontae Walker, Johnny Wilson, Jacob Cowan, because they had big names. Like, they're going to fall in love with those guys in round 3 or 4, and they're going to let guys fall to you in round 4 that shouldn't be there. Maybe there's a couple guys that we took lower, like Corley, McCaffrey, that go higher, too, because a lot of people love Malachi Corley, and I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some guys there, and like the non-sexy guys, like where you took Jalen Polk, like I see Polk go in the round 3 a lot.
It happens. Yep.
Yeah, and like he's going to a team with not a lot of wide receivers. He's got one of the top rookie quarterbacks in the draft, and Jalen Polk should be a contributor. Like he should be a top 50 to 60 at least threshold wide receiver. So.
I like how it kind of played out too. Like at least for the first round, it really feels like 1 through 3. That's a tier. The May through Brock Bowers. 4 through 8. That's kind of another tier, and then everything else after that until the very early part of the second round, you're like, okay, we can just lump all this shit together, right? Like all this, all kind of feels like the same guy. If Michael Penix went at the 109, like I'm not shocked at all. Right. Bo Nix has gone there multiple. I've fucking taken Bo Nix at the 7 to be an asshole in quarterback horde. If Keon or Ladd or somebody went there, you wouldn't be shocked. Benson, Jonathan Brooks, like those guys. I'm not shocked by any of those picks. I think you get shocked if it's like Benson out at the 112 and you go like, what the fuck? What's going on here? So not a lot of those. I did see like a Bucky Irving 106. Yeah, I saw a screenshot of it. It's a Superflex league too, and I was like, yeah, somebody is drunk as fuck.
Yeah, you were in a league with Dynasty Barry.
I don't even, DB wouldn't even do that. DB wouldn't even do that. I give him credit. You wouldn't do that. So there's a rookie draft, man. I'll get you the link too, so we can put it in the podcast description if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. We can definitely do that. We'll put it in the tweet too. But yeah, let's do America's favorite game, and then we'll wrap this baby up.
Hell yeah, buddy.
All right, so we'll do this the easy one. Who was your favorite, let's say, draft pick to the Eagles this year that you guys got, and then your favorite fantasy landing spot for one of the rookies?
Oh, well, the favorite Eagle draft pick, Eric, that's a fucking layup question. Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean. Love it, man. Iowa guy. I've been a big proponent of him for a while. I mean, we've been doing these mock draft Mondays, and I love him. Hell of an athlete. Actually beat Minnesota on a walk-off. We didn't lose that game, by the way. I know the record shows that, but that's not what happened. We won that fucking game because of Cooper DeJean. And I'm excited, man. White corner. We haven't had this since Jason Sehorn. Riley Moss does not count, by the way. We do not claim him.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to play some nickel and maybe some safety too. So
one of the things I didn't even think about, and I'm an Iowa fan, but I saw it when his pro day comp came out, and people were comparing Raz. Him and Jalen Ramsey profiled a lot alike. And if you think about Jalen Ramsey, especially with the Rams, he played that what they called the star position.
Yeah.
That hybrid, that nickel, extra safety, but could also play on the outside and cover. And fucking Cooper DeJean did that exact thing at Iowa. Like his first couple years, that's what he played. It was just the last year we were so bad with outside corner. It was like, yeah, you got to play outside, buddy, because the number one receiver is just gonna fucking run straight down the field and nobody gonna stop him. So
when he fell into the Rams' lap, that's who I thought the Rams were gonna take.
snatch him up. Yeah,
he fits, like you said, Ramsey, Eric Weddle. Kind of fits that Rams style. That's where I thought Cooper was going to go. The fact that he fell to round 2, right into the Eagles' lap, home run. And then obviously, I'm guessing the legacy pick too was one of your favorites.
Jeremiah Trotter falling too, especially because we did those mock draft Mondays, and I kept taking him in the 2nd round or the 3rd round every time I took the Eagles. And it's like, oh, didn't even need to. We just wait till the 5th. Nobody else wants him. We'll fucking take him. So, that was a good one. It was a great draft again for the Eagles. I don't know how he keeps doing it, but he nails it. I mean, a lot of people's number 1 corner, a lot of people's number 2 corner he got in the 2nd round, and he didn't really have to do shit to get either of them. He just stuck there and fell into his lap out of heaven. So, pretty good draft by him. And then the Will Shipley pick, I'm kind of like talking myself into. Like, I'm not the biggest Will Shipley fan.
I think he's just a Gainwell replacement.
Which is solid. Solid pick for them. Man, it was a great draft. I gotta ask you though, what was your Browns' favorite pick out of all 3 that you had?
I think my favorite one, probably Zinter, the guard. If he didn't get injured late at the year, I think he would have went higher. So I think just getting him at a value at what we did in the 3rd round or 4th round, whatever it was. I think it was 3rd round. Getting him there, I think that was a good steal for where we got him.
When in doubt, just draft a Michigan offensive lineman.
Yeah.
You'd be okay.
What about your favorite fantasy fit for any of the draft picks?
Ooh, that's a good one. Favorite fantasy fit.
Yeah, what was the one that got you the most excited when you saw it happen?
Oh man.
If you want me to go first, I can go.
Yeah, go for it. You give one. I gotta think about this
when I saw it, because I had him as my RB1, it was Jonathan Brooks of the Panthers. I think that's just a great fit there. The way that Canales, obviously he worked with Ken Walker his rookie year. Rashad White last year took him to another level. I think once Jonathan Brooks gets up and running and looking good, that offensive line is solid. I think they're NFL average offensive line. I think Jonathan Brooks, man, once he gets going, I think that's going to be a really good spot. And I know a lot of people wanted him at Dallas, but I think Carolina is just as good a landing spot as Dallas is for him.
I'm going to go a little bit more off the radar, right? Like, I mean, I could say, like, Xavier Worthy, obviously, with Patrick Mahomes. You're like, oh, fuck yeah. Keon Coleman with Josh Allen, that's pretty good. I do like the Jonathan Brooks one because of the Canales thing, because of the receiving ability, and Jonathan Brooks can catch the fucking football, right?
Oh, yeah.
Prototypical size, but also can catch, right? You want to think about, like, a Breece Hall type. Jonathan Brooks. Right. Jonathan Brooks. But I'm going to go way off the radar, and a guy who didn't go to way later. Tyrone Tracy with the Giants.
Yeah, that's a good
Devin
spot
Singletary and a shitty-ass, slow-ass Eric Gray. That's his competition. He's on the older side, so you want those running backs to have an opportunity immediately, right? If you're 24 when you come into the league and you don't get run for 2 years, it's fucking over for you. But he comes into a situation where he doesn't have a lot of competition. He also comes into a situation with a team that's fucking terrible at blocking, and you would go, oh my God, that's not good for a running back. You know what it's good for, though? The pass-catching running back. The guy when Daniel Jones has got 3 dudes in his fucking face, and he's got to go, where's Tracy? Just take the fucking football, buddy. And for a former wide receiver converting to running back, and also a former Hawkeye, so it's my love, to do that, it's like, okay, if there's any chance for you to succeed, it's right fucking here, buddy. There's no competition, and you got a shitty offensive line where your skill set is going to be in very high demand. Very high demand. So the Tyrone Tracy one late. And then honorable mention, again, Kamani Vidal. Right?
Yeah,
just fucking Gus Edwards. And Kamani Vidal was a good prospect. He's got good size, good speed, the whole works. So.
And it gives me more confidence to take him because Harbaugh took him.
Yes.
And obviously they have Gus Edwards, they have J.K. Dobbins. Those guys are veterans. They're gonna get their shot. Dobbins is coming off major knee surgery, now Achilles. Like, I am writing J.K. Dobbins off like I wrote Cam Akers off. Like, it's if it happens, it happens. But the
Yeah.
the
Yes.
probability of it happening is very, very low. So I'm not really even counting J.K. Dobbins. So I'm thinking it's Gus Edwards and Vidal. Vidal has a damn good shot to be the starter there. So I'm with you, Tracy and Vidal for the really late guys. In rounds like 3, like those are the guys I will definitely pound the table for in my rookie drafts to go and take for sure.
You know what's crazy about the Vidal thing? If you had to pick like one back in this class who like most mirrors what Harbaugh just had in Blake Corum,
Yeah.
it's fucking Kamani Vidal. Except for he got him, 3 rounds later. Right? But the same like size, kind of same speed, same weight, almost identical, and like they do kind of have the similar running style. And you're like, fuck, he just took discount Blake Corum. he's gonna give this guy 250 fucking carries in 24.
He went to Walmart and got the great value version of Blake Corum.
He got the hillbilly holler.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it. Great value. Great value, Blake Corum. That's the dude.
Perfect. That's a great way to wrap it up. So with that is going to be it for this marathon episode of America's Game, episode 40. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Vanek NFL. Follow the show at America's Game Pod as well, at South Harmon FF on Twitter, on YouTube. Make sure you guys follow there as well. This video will come out there every Thursday morning as well. And yeah, that's it for me. You got anything, Mike, before we get out of here?
No, man. Just big shout out to you. You made it all 3 days. Hung with us.
Yeah,
you more than what's 17 hours? Times 0. 17 times more.
Yeah.
170. I don't know. Whatever the fuck it is. You multiplied your last live draft stream by a fuck ton.
Yeah.
Your airtime was off the charts. Couldn't even measure
About
it. This time.
17 hours more.
But you did great, man. You stuck with us. I had a great fucking time chopping it up with you. We didn't even notice that Adam wasn't there night 1.
Yeah.
Who fucking needs him?
Shout out to Koopa as well. Me, you, and Koopa. We're the Iron Men. We were down there 17 hours.
Troopers.
Koopa never got up once. He pointed that out after we ended. He never got up once during any of the 3 days. They didn't to go to pee or do anything. Like, iron bladder fucking Koopa over there.
What did you? I swear to God, he was wearing diapers. He had to be wearing a diaper.
Had.
He was double fisting wine the whole weekend. Like, you see 2 glasses at the same time.
And he never got like fucked up or anything. And
No.
I mean, I've never seen him like in person before, but I think of him as a smaller guy. He's not like me or you, a bigger guy that could absorb that. So I don't know.
What a gangster, man. He's got a neck tattoo he's been hiding underneath there. Just says warp.
Yep. We talked about what he should get that. That'd be awesome.
Yes. Come on, Coop. Do it.
$1,000 super chat next next one.
Koopa gets a neck tattoo that says warp.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
That's all I got. I wanted to shout out and thank you for coming on. It was a great time, man. You being a part of South Harmon has been a blast.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not quite at the year mark, but it's been a fun year so far. So look forward to many more draft streams, and maybe we'll get like $100 in super chats, and you'll take your shirt off.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to see that either.
Nobody wanted to see mine either, but apparently there's a few people out there willing to play ball and ruin everybody's eyeballs.
Willing to play ball. Shout out to your dad too, man. Your dad was in there all 3 days, I think, too.
Oh yeah, you just got to get them boozed up, man. Get them Bud Light Platinums in. Shout out to all the old retirees, divorcees down there in Jimmy Buffett land down in Daytona Beach. They probably got him sauced up during the day, so you get him sauced up. He comes back home, hangs out with the dog, kicks back a few Bud Light Platinums, pops open the laptop, and then Dad's wallet opens up, which is nice because that was a cheap motherfucker when I was growing up. I didn't get shit, so it's about time we get it now.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, guys, that's it for this week. We will see you next week for episode 41.